I shit it.
TalkRadio, can I help you?
Hi, can I talk to Ian, please?
3, 1.
It's the real thing. A radio signal from another world.
This is the flavor.
You whacked a BG in the Gajangas.
They were kicking it in the nuts.
Really? You'd certainly have the hump. Or your gander would be up. But he went to work with an unironed shirt and his boss shot him.
Maggie's bag.
Really?
Yeah.
That wasn't Dennis's sack.
Ian Collins and the creatures of the night.
Look, Jerky, I don't need to talk to you.
Brace yourself.
My life, we actually made it. We actually made it. But can we make the rest of the week? That's going to be the that's the key to things around here. Yes, hello UK, hello, and thank you to Mr. Gordon Astley. Thank you, Gordon, who sat here through thick and thin, through turkey sarnies and a huge box of crackers. Gordon was here. And may the angels thank you for it, Gordon. I heard every single show, so I know. So there you are. Thank you very much indeed. 0500 10 53 89. Nostradamus said the world is going to end in July. If anyone's got some proof of all of that, I'd love to hear all about it to kind of clarify the point. Near problem. And it's, you know the number, 0500 10 53 89. So while we're away, quite a lot of stuff kind of happened. Christmas TV, we know all about that, because it was really bad. Who would have thought that the rotund Joe Brand would have had a Christmas show called Joe Brand's Christmas Log? Didn't expect that, Joe. God, you'll be telling jokes about your weight next. What's up with you? Men Behaving Badly was apparently top of the ratings. I don't think so. The tissue gag will live on forevermore. And Jenny Eclair appeared on the box 7 times that I counted. And we'd love to speak to anybody who has ever laughed at Jenny Eclair. Anybody who's heard of Jenny Eclair would be quite nice. But she kind of pops up and we don't really know why. It's another TV programmer's bright decision. And talking of TV, the BBC in particular has now surpassed itself. This is fantastic. It surpassed itself in the fly-on-the-wall arena. With their new fabulous offering called Paddington Green, everybody. Paddington Green, which is an in-depth tale of people who live in Paddington Green, actually. And all those people featured in the programme, all of them, every one of them, they all live in Paddington Green. That's what it's about. But what makes the doco extra special is that it focuses on, well, we know it focuses on people who live in Paddington Green, but not ordinary people. Oh, no. This is the BBC, damn it. Never ordinary people, because there's a bus conductor who we met in the very first episode. He was really good, and this guy was continually being told off by his boss, for wearing his baseball cap back to front. Now, that might not be the right thing to do when you're a bus conductor, because you're meeting the people, you're doing the PR bit, and all that kind of stuff. You know, you're on the bus, you've got to create the right impression. We understand all of that. But, like, nobody mentioned, and if you saw this, nobody mentioned the fact that this man chewed gum like he was munching on Arthur Buffalo. You never saw anything like it in your life. That was absolutely fine. On the grander scale of things, like if you're a passenger on a bus, what is going to cause you the most offence? Man with baseball cap on backwards, or man with the eating habits of a dirty old dingo? We'd like to know which. We need to be told. I think we should have a vote on that. Filthy old masticator. What's up with the man? 0500 10 53 89. In the same episode, we met a man who owns some car parks, and the following week, a transsexual prostitute, and a bloke who makes wigs but doesn't sell many. This is the BBC, the most highly respected broadcaster on the planet. They wish. A fly-on-the-wall documentary on dozens of bods who live in Paddington Green. And how did that happen? How did it ever get to the stage where that happened? What went on to get that on your TV? Was it A, that people who live in Paddington Green are simply more interesting than the rest of us? Was it B, their individual lives are just so compelling that it's imperative we hear about it? Or was it C, some BBC producer thought it was a good idea because they happen to live in that area themselves? Yeah, my money's on the latter. That's definitely where it is, guys.
Oh, yeah.
You can just imagine it, can't you? Oh, it's so bohemian around here, you know.
Oh, yeah.
Got to make a doco on this one, boss.
Oh, right.
Oh, John, you must commission this.
Oh, Johnny.
Nuts.
And you.
And it's 0500 10 53 89. Actually, the best thing that was on the telly over Christmas was, it was a thing on BBC Two. I don't know what it's called, but it was about the early American settlers. and it showed the plight of, like, the original Red Indians.
The West.
The West. Was it called The West?
The West.
Did you see this thing?
I saw bits of it.
Did you see it?
It was narrated by old Henry Fonda, wasn't it?
That's the one.
It is the one.
And it showed, like, you know, all these people. But to put it into perspective, the people that they pick up on, your average humble Red Indian, were simple folk.
They were.
Travelling folk of their day, if you like.
They were.
And they mooched around, and they did strange things, and they carved big sticks.
Totems.
They did, I tell you. They did all of that.
Yeah.
Okay, which is great. But it begs this question: what the hell was somebody doing taking photographs of them all day?
Ah.
I mean, who was there? Why would you have been there with a camera all the time?
Because, I'll tell you for why. It was folks studying Aboriginal Indian.
Yeah, in the name of research.
Yeah, but at the time, you know, I mean, it's like going down to the average housing estate in this country and just, like, following 29 tower blocks worth of families around for about 14 years.
Too late, the BBC's already done it. Fly on the wall doco.
Fly on the
mate.
wall.
There you go. It was a fly on the wall doco.
I thought man with camera was an Indian chief. What's going on? What's happening here? We need to know.
We do.
And it's 0500 1053 89. And you do know when you're getting older, when you start getting power tools for Christmas.
Ah, yes.
That's when you know, because
when
when you're a kid, you get your little tool set.
Yeah.
And that's the best thing in the world.
Yeah.
Then, of course, you reach, you know, a couple of decades and the last thing you want are tools. And then, of course, you know, my mum buys me a Dremel.
A what?
A Dremel.
What's that, sir?
That's one of those little kind of multi-tools.
Ah.
Nearly-
Oh, I know the ones. Yes, I know the ones. Oh, yeah.
Great. Nearly sliced my flipping finger off, didn't I?
What you would do with
I'm
that?
telling you.
They're a dangerous tool.
Because you know when you go in a chip shop
Yeah.
and it says, don't touch the counter because it's hot. And, of course, while you're queuing up, you touch the counter, don't you?
Just to see.
You just have to see how hot it is. Oh, look, 14 layers of skin have gone. But don't matter. I know it's hot. I've confirmed the fact.
Good boy.
Nice sign there saying it, but you have to confirm it. As the same with the Dremel, because the Dremel is kind of like a low-power mechanism with various attachments.
Yeah, you've got to have your attachment.
It is. It's kind of like, you know, the DIY mongers and Summers collection, you know? And it's got all the various
What
appliances.
tool was this?
Well, there you go. It's got all the various appliances, including this thing that twirls around and cuts metal.
Wow.
And I turned it on, and I thought, because I'm going around the house Christmas Day looking for something to cut.
Yes.
And I thought, it doesn't go very fast. It doesn't look very fast, and you just have to a little touch with a finger, and it goes faster than you think.
And now we call you Stumpy.
Yeah, and I found a nail sticking out of my sister's door.
Oh, right.
And I thought, I wonder if I can take the head off the nail. So I went along and straight off.
God.
But don't pick the nail up afterwards. That's like 400 degrees, that nail.
Well, it would be, wouldn't it?
Well, you don't consider these things. It wasn't glowing. It wasn't glowing Tom and Jerry style.
But it's conductor of heat, isn't it?
Of course it is. So there you go.
Yes.
So on Christmas presents that nearly killed you. We'll have some of that, please.
Families that nearly killed you.
0500 1053 89. We'll talk skiing holidays. We'll talk claims to fame that nobody believes. We've got to do that one. Britain is a nation of greedy old bassets. They're everywhere. Community service. And there's a reason we're bringing up it's to do with McDonald's, all right?
Yeah.
It's to do with McDonald's. And we must get an angle on this. So we'll do all of that. Whatever else you got hanging around in your head. Plenty to say. Lots to do. And Gordon Astley, of course. Thank you very much, Gordon.
Oh, yes, Gordon.
Gordon.
He was lovely.
Yeah, Gordon.
Gordon.
Yeah?
What?
Gordon.
Gordon.
Gordon?
Yeah.
No.
Yes.
Gordon Astley?
No.
This is really weird. It is surely impossible for a farmer to keep himself spotlessly clean all day. Any farmer who wore light-colored clothing while working must be mad. But Robert Cook, a 17th century Irishman, insisted that everything that he wore was white. His underclothes, nightclothes, shirts, suits, coats, and hats. Not only was he always dressed in pure white, but the cows in his fields were white, and so too were his horses, goats, and his pet gerbil, Shane. Cook never ate meat and could not stand the thought of anyone else eating it. He took his vegetarianism to such an extreme that a fox which attacked his poultry was lectured by the farmer on the evils of eating meat and then released. History does not tell us if the fox changed his ways. But Cook stayed true to his obsession for white right to the end, except when he was laid in his coffin, which by an inexplicable personal request was a bright shade of shocking pink. Strange, but true.
You've got an audience with Ian Collins and the creatures of the night.
So what went wrong last night?
I don't know. Can I have some resolve?
Not until you tell me.
All right, I got the lager in, naturally.
That explains the hangover.
Yes, and my need for resolve. It'll relieve this thumping head, soothe my upset tummy.
Then what?
I'll feel better.
No, the Christmas party. Why didn't anyone turn up?
Fog?
You didn't send the invites.
I forgot.
Like I forgot the resolve.
You didn't. Say it ain't so.
It ain't so.
Resolve for the morning after. Always read the label.
You're listening to Talk Radio across the UK on 1053 and 1089 AM with Ian Collins.
Alrighty, 0500 1053 89. Let me just go to this line. Hello, what's up with chap?
Hi, Ian Collins from Knocking Hell at the Dremel.
Yeah.
Yeah, I beg to differ.
I love the Dremel.
I love the Dremel. It's a brilliant bloody tool.
Fantastic, but I nearly cut my finger off.
Oh, well, Christ, I mean, that's your problem.
Oh, it's my fault, yeah.
Yeah, but I mean,
Don't get too upset about it.
Well, I mean, the man's sort of decrying it. He's saying it's a rough and ready tool.
No, you're talking to me. You're talking to Ian.
I am. Whoopee.
Yes.
This is Colin from Newborough.
Welcome along, Colin.
Great. Good to speak to you again.
And to you too.
No, I use the Dremel and I use it on fine work.
It's got everything.
And I do some very intricate work with it.
Yes.
I've also got a claim to fame.
Have you?
Yeah.
Go on.
I used to pal about with Freddie Mercury.
Did you?
Yeah, way back when. He came back from Zanzibar and he went up to Nairobi.
Oh, yes.
And he was playing in a nightclub in Nairobi.
Yep.
And there was a group of about 20 of us all used to go around together, you know, like kids do.
Yeah.
And bloody good fun.
Do you think he would make it?
Sorry?
Do you know he would make it?
No, I never knew that. I mean, he was one of these weird guys. I mean, you never knew whether he was looking at you or your girlfriend.
He had some... or your boyfriend, for that matter. He had some gnashes on him, the old boy, didn't he?
Yeah, well...
Bigger then.
He was a good-looking guy in his youth.
Is there something else you want to tell us here, Colin?
That was a long way back.
Yeah, well, nostalgia ain't what it used to be, is it?
No.
Good to talk to you, Colin.
Take care, my man.
Thank you. That's Cantankerous Cole from wherever he was from. Abdul says, hello. First of all, I'd like to wish you a prosperous New Year and a happy Easter. We kind of got used to Gordon while you were away, so now that you are back, we hope it will be less talk on your part and allow the listeners to air their points. NB, that guy in the studio with you called Myth, I hope he will just shut up with that silly accent and leave all the intelligent stuff for we listeners to handle. Also tell him to work on his telephone manners. Abdul ain't happy with you.
No, I don't mind. I don't care if he's happy or he ain't happy.
I listened to every one of Gordon's broadcasts.
Oh, no.
I didn't want to be honest, Mick, I didn't want to spend my 2 weeks off going to the pub, having beers with mates. I wanted to be in there and sober and ready for the Gordon Release My Boredom experience.
Indeed. And what was that little jingle he had?
I have no idea. I think it was written many moons ago.
I think it was.
But, and I thought, you know, and the bits I didn't get to hear, I recorded, obviously.
No, well, you have to, because you have to listen back to them.
Listen to those people. 30 years in the business, you know? 30 years. 30 years in the business.
Yeah.
30 years.
And he was a member of some sort of ring, I believe.
Yes, I think he was. I believe it was the Circle of Magic, known to me and you as the Magic Circle.
Indeed.
Yeah, that's Gordon.
I picked up a few pointers myself.
Did you really?
The old pro, mate, the old pros.
Have you checked the fax machine, by the way, Pete?
What's that?
Because I think our gags are being faxed through soon for the show. Are they there?
They're around.
They're around somewhere. So Abdul's making the point that you guys got to shut up.
Right.
And let me and the callers get along with the thing.
You get on with it then, boy.
Callers are more intelligent than you.
Of course they
That's
are.
the point being made here. It's the
real
substance of
stars.
Abdul's piece.
Indeed.
And never argue with his piece.
I wouldn't argue with Abdul's piece if you wanted me to.
No.
Couldn't.
No,
I
couldn't.
can only agree with
Couldn't. Because every caller is always going to be more intelligent than you.
They're the real stars, you
The
know.
real stars. It's nice. Yeah. Who wants to listen to, like, a couple of blokes sodding around in the studio when you can put more callers on?
Callers.
Callers. So then you can say we put loads of callers on.
That's great.
Was every one of them brilliant? No, it doesn't matter. We just put loads on, all right? Loads on.
Heap 'em on. With an old shuffle.
Heaps of them.
Heaps.
Hey, Mr. Collins, can I go to air? Can I go to air, Mr. Collins?
No!
Well, I wish you wouldn't bring him in here.
But you said he wasn't coming back.
I thought he was
part of the,
Yes.
the lot that aren't coming back.
Back anymore. There's a horde of them.
Unreal. Unreal.
Right.
So, like, leave it to the call. Leave it to the stars.
Leave it to the real stars.
Yeah, a chicken.
Oh, yes.
And a caterpillar. Were among those arrested when a brawl broke out after a fancy dress party in a Chester nightclub.
Who would go to a nightclub dressed as a chicken?
I've no idea.
Or caterpillar, even. For goodness sake,
listen, that's just good. The mental ethic. When you go to the fancy dress shop, right?
Yeah.
You look around, and there's glamorous costumes everywhere.
Yes.
And you've got Henry VIII. You got the Flintstones.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's a Homer and a Bart costume there. What makes you look around and say, I think I'll have the chicken? What? I think I'll go for, the caterpillar.
You don't do it.
What would be happening in your head to draw you to those particular?
Well, maybe it was a large sort of cock which he thought women might find attractive.
Possibly. Could have been that.
It could have been that. I don't know.
So, if you were at that nightclub in Chester and you were that chicken...
We want to hear from you.
We have to hear from you. 0500 10 53 89. Bob's in Glasgow. How you doing, Bob?
All right, Ian.
Yeah.
How are you?
What do you got for us?
Well, I was just on the subject of Christmas television.
Yeah.
Did you watch the New Year special of The Cruise? Did you watch it?
Sadly, was this the Jane McDonald...
Yeah, I am cringing even talking about it. Did you manage to see
I
it?
missed it. I wish I'd seen that thing.
You'd be devastated. I'm really sad. I quite enjoyed The Cruise. You know, the first, I thought it was really well done.
Yeah.
But the New Year special, it was like, depressing. It was like all the old bits that they'd done before that we'd seen, that weren't, that really sad way. And then she was live in the London Palladium. This was supposed to be spectacular.
Yeah.
It was the exact same jokes. They brought out her mother.
No.
Oh, she's a lovely lass and all this.
Oh.
And then, is even worse, Henrique was there.
Who?
Her man, who she married.
Henrique? What's that? That's her husband, is it?
This is her husband.
Jane McDonald's husband.
They wheeled him onto the stage, get the whole family in.
So he came on, her mother came on.
The whole lot.
Was there a chicken and a caterpillar that came on?
Do you know what? They were there as well. I wish they'd just done us a big favour. How could she have not been born years earlier and sailed the Titanic and done us all a favour? Oh, if I could just see her on that Titanic. It's going down. Listen, one more thing. Claim to fame. Big claim to fame. Listen to this.
Yeah.
I stood behind Costa Young and Safeway in Glasgow. That is my claim to fame.
It's you that met her.
And
that's probably the biggest audience she's had.
Kirsty Young has a halo. She's got one of these golden glows about her.
Yeah, I know.
And I'll just tell you one thing, Ian.
Yeah.
It was all the cheap products she was buying. It was none of this good stuff.
Yeah, that's
all
Kirsty all over. She's a Fray Bentos girl,
No, it was all this, the really reduced stuff.
Yeah.
That was what Kirsty.
Yeah.
Oh, that Kirsty Young. You can't be paid enough. Well, that's why she probably left, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Well, it was nice speaking to you. Did you have a nice New Year and stuff?
Not bad at all, Bob.
Was it? I'm sorry, but I'm cringing at Gordon as well. He was good. It was sort of different, Gordon. You got on the air. You could come up with it on the air right away,
30 years in the business.
Is he? Right, okay. Yeah, he's good. We'll miss him, but not as good as you, Ian.
Well, thank you, Bob.
Right, speak to you soon.
I'll send you some money for that, thank you. We don't say all that old lark, That's not the way it is. 0500 10 53 89. That's our number. Please, will you stop doing that?
If I beg your pardon? What was that? I don't know where that come from.
Unbelievable.
Dear, oh dear, oh dear.
I lost my train of thought then. Oh, yeah, French and Saunders. Obviously, didn't have a conversation with the Harry Enfield production department, who both did Titanic sketches.
They're virtually the same.
Yeah, virtually the same. And the only good thing about the French and Saunders one is it had the little Irish puppets from Live and Kicking in it.
Ah.
It's quite funny.
Lovely.
Right, where are we going to number 2?
Number 2?
I think so. Yes, it's, Mike in Devizes. Hello, Mike. You're on Talk Radio.
Hello, Ian. How are you?
All right.
Right, I haven't got a claim to fame, but I believe my mother had, actually. Poor lady passed away earlier this year. She walked from...
That's what, in the last 4 days?
No, it's the last... Oh, yeah. Sorry, last year.
Okay.
I beg your pardon, Ian.
That's all right.
Yeah. My mother, in 1927...
Yes.
...walked from Box in Wiltshire to Bath, which is 6 miles away, to see the jazz singer with Al Jolson.
Oh, did she?
Yeah. Which they used to walk in the Box, at Bath, regular for Box.
Somebody had given her a lift?
No, they didn't have cars those days, did they? Every other 10,000 people had a car then, didn't they?
Yeah, yeah.
Right, anyway, she walked in the Bath to see the jazz singer, which was the very first talking picture, wasn't it? With Al Jolson.
It was indeed.
1927.
Yes.
When Al Jolson said, "Mammy, Mammy," my mother and her sister both started laughing and got thrown out the cinema.
Did they?
Yeah. For laughing at it when he said, "Mammy." I think that was her claim to fame.
Well, why did... So was this Al Jolson live they were going to see?
No, it was the first talking film.
Oh, it was in the cinema?
Yes.
So they got thrown out the cinema?
Yeah, for laughing.
Did they?
They walked 6 miles into Bath and Box in Wiltshire, queued for hours to see the jazz singer.
Yeah.
And when
Nothing worse, is it?
No, that's right. When he said, "Mammy, Mammy," they thought, "Oh, these funny." Both started laughing, got thrown out. Had to walk 6 miles home again.
Blimey. Well, thank you, Mike.
That's not much of a claim to fame, really, is it? But
no, but it's all right. I'm glad you told me.
Yeah, lovely.
Thank you, Mike. 0500 1053 89. My mate got thrown out of the Evel Knievel film, Viva Knievel, for blowing off.
For blowing off?
And he thought, you see, crafty swine, he thought he could disguise it over the sound of Evel's exhaust pipe. But unfortunately, he had a bad sense of timing. Absolutely. Please! Less of that malarkey. It's outrageous. What do you want, Claire?
What I'd really like is some good colours, but I don't think I'm going to get them.
Really? You got strange fog out there, love? All right, there you go. We'll change all of that, don't worry.
Oh, yeah.
So, Ian Collins and the Creatures of the Night, voice of the common man.
We are.
Our mere magnetism can attract the desired caller we want. Which are morons.
Yes.
No, we've got some nice calls tonight, nice people on the phone.
There was Mike.
We are a very warm sort of show, you know, we are a warm, nice show.
We had a warm... We had Bob, he was warm and nice.
Bob was very warm. Mike was warm.
He was warm.
Absolutely. And I think Harge is going to be warm as well.
Harge is very warm.
Yes. Hello, Harge.
Hi, Ian.
Are you warm?
Am I warm?
Are you a warm person?
I think I am some of the time.
Fantastic. Yeah. Let's all be warm together. You're in Wolverhampton and welcome to Talk Radio.
Right, thank you.
What you got for us?
Right, you mentioned something about Nostradamus.
Yeah, the world's going to end in July, apparently.
Apparently. What it is I've read a few books. I haven't read them like front to back or nothing like that.
Yeah.
But I picked out all the best parts.
Oh, yeah.
What I thought were the best parts, anyway. But you've got to be careful when you read Nostradamus books, because you're reading somebody else's interpretation of them, you see.
And it's like a code, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Yeah.
And what I read about July is that there's going to be something happening, but he predicted that the world's going to end in the 23rd century or something like that.
23rd?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, that's all right. We won't be around then, will we?
You know, so we should be okay.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, there's one more thing I wanted to say.
Yeah, go for it.
I was listening to you talk last night, and there was a guy in some Gordon Astley or something like that.
That's right, yeah.
Right, and I thought, where the hell the creature's gone? I thought you'd all left or something, so I'm glad to hear you back.
It was an odd day to come back, really, wasn't it? Like, everyone else started work Monday, and we start, Tuesday, so...
Yeah,
we like to be different like that.
Yeah, well, I just thought, because I'm a first-time caller anyway, so, just thought I'd break in and say, yeah.
Pleasure. Welcome, Hart. I'm glad you're there.
Thank you.
Thanks for your call. See you later.
Right. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. 0500 1053 89. Amongst Nostradamus' predictions for this year are that there will be a huge invasion of Turkey from someone in Iran. France and Italy start to be threatened by the above invasion. This is February, February. Further increase in North African anti-European activities. The King of Morocco is overthrown and imprisoned by Pan-Arabic revolution. Astrologers multiply, but are persecuted and their books banned, presumably in France. I don't imagine for one moment that this year is going to see a bundle of folk have their books banned.
I can't see that at all.
The Pope travels to Sarajevo.
Does he?
To buy off Middle Eastern invaders, but merely succeeds in stirring the pot.
Oh, yes.
Was he double booked as the chef or something out there?
I would have thought so. Must have been. Must have been. Bit of an old cordon
Ready, steady,
bleu.
cook with Pope John. The start of the Antichrist's reign.
The reign is what?
The reign, you know, the reign.
The reign? Oh, yeah. Well, who's that then?
Well, that's a big question, isn't it? It's all to do with your barcodes and your Bible and your revelations.
Load of old rag, mate. As a wise man once said...
Yes.
Reading that book by Nostradamus, I didn't know if I was reading a book of predictions or Fanny Craddock's book of recipes.
For apple pie.
For apple pie.
No, which wise man said that, I wonder? We'll have to think about that.
We'll have to think about
Very wise man, though. European Union, overconfident only a year or so before its final... Now, this is interesting. I mean, this is 1999 being predicted from years back.
Yes.
Yeah? And apparently, again, it's open to interpretation. It says that the European Union is overconfident only a year or so before its final collapse. So ain't going to work. Should be really good. Re-emergence of a British Joan of Arc figure. Cherie Blair.
I mean, someone's going to burn her up the stake.
Well, let's hope not. So I think it's all going to happen this year.
Well, there you are, you see.
Loads of stuff.
Nostradamus. Load of old rag.
Nostra pajamas, that's what we say.
Pajamas.
It's 0500 10 53 80. Are we doing a what's it here? We are, and we're back after this.
Your home is damp or overcrowded. You can't make the rent. Your landlord's giving you grief, or you think you could end up on the streets. It seems there's no way out. But if you call Shelterline free on 0808 800 4444, you'll get help with any housing problems you have. Give us a call before things get out of hand. Call Shelterline free any time of the day or night on 0808 800 4444. Shelterline is supported by BT.
You're listening to Talk Radio across the UK on 1053 and 1089 AM with Ian Collins.
Thank you, Max Castlerock. Housing officers in Knowsley in Liverpool have been commended for playing ear-splitting music to teenagers to demonstrate how annoying noisy neighbours can be. Well, I must have brilliant neighbours, because the first time ever in my life I had a New Year's Eve party. And I've never done that before. And I'd like to thank everybody who turned up, because I know many are listening to the show, including the man that I caught smoking a suspicious fag in my bog.
Who was that old choo-choo hound?
How did the old smoke trumpet going aplenty?
Oh, dear.
And I only found out because I looked out of my bedroom window onto the window of the bathroom and saw a rather large fag hanging out of it.
Well, what I want to know is what you was doing having a good old mooch into the carsy window. What was you expecting to see in there?
Well, I got suspicious that I was waiting to go to the loo in my own house, you know, and I thought, what's going off here? Yeah. And, I mean, he was a top man. He's a really good bloke. I won't mention his name because he's probably listening.
And he'll get embarrassed.
And it wasn't a moral thing. I just got this horrible idea that, like, you know, I only lived there a little while and someone was complaining about the noise or something.
Oh, yeah.
And the police all knock on the door, all friendly, and say, excuse me, sir, would you mind just turning it down just a tad, and Happy New Year, and... Hello. What's all this then? And, of course, we'll all be arrested and have our heads cut off.
Idea.
For illegal substances in Ian's Carsey. We can't have that.
Can't have it.
And we were all there. Miff was there, Claire was there, Pete was there, everybody was there. We had a really good time.
I had a lovely time.
Yeah. Even Robin Banks was there.
Well, that dude...
I don't know how he got there.
I've got no idea where he came from.
Everybody was there.
They was.
Fantastic little party.
But it weren't such a little party. It was quite a big affair.
Yeah, and the interesting thing is that 10% of the people were invited.
Yeah, that was the weird thing about it.
That's always the way with parties.
But there were some merchants turned up, weren't there? There was some merchants turned up, actually. Your Jesus person, he turned up.
Now, there we were talking just the other week about how you always see somebody in a pub look like Jesus. And now I've had somebody at my party look like Jesus.
Yes.
He was a good bloke as well, actually.
He was a nice geezer.
He was, yeah.
Nice geezer.
So, But we'll talk more about that later on.
Indeed.
And also the cat that I had to look after for 2 weeks over Christmas.
Filthy swine.
Filthy swine. Which had to go back prematurely. Just gone back, that cat, did you know?
No, I didn't know.
Yeah, it's gone back. Couldn't handle it. Couldn't handle me. It attacked me. Look at that. Look,
I see it.
scar tissue. Scar tissue from a crazy feline. Silly thing. 0500 1053. Never look after a cat. Well, I'll come to that in a second. Jim's in Cheltenham. Hello, Jim. You're on Talk Radio.
Oh, hi there.
Hi.
Yeah, I'm just phoning up about, basically, I've read some things about the Nostradamus and how that relates.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's all interesting stuff, but the thing that I've always thought about it, I don't know if you or the other listeners share my views, or is, I might be getting it completely wrong, but there was a definite doomsday date given in certain interpretations of it, yet he talks about, in the version I have, of aliens being discovered in the years sort of 3000, etc. And I just wondered, I'm sure a lot of people have the view that Nostradamus is the doomsday sort of 1999, 2012. I just wondered what any other listeners thought about that. And what they think about Horus.
Yeah, I was going to say, the trouble is, and as we were saying earlier on, he knocked this stuff up in code, didn't he?
Yeah.
And so you can buy various books on his prophecies and discover differing interpretations of what he said. And that's where I've got a slight problem, because I heard only a couple of weeks ago that, in fact, I think it was on the Frank Skinner Christmas show.
Frank Skinner?
Yeah, I think he mentioned it, that according to the prophecies, the world's going to end in July, according to Nostradamus. And I'm looking here at another book by an author called Peter Lemessurier.
Right.
And it doesn't mention it. All it says in 1999... We are 1999 now, aren't we?
We are now, yes, indeed.
It just says here, where is it? Start of the Antichrist's reign.
The Antichrist's reign? Is that anything to do with Yog Sothoth, Master of the Gate and the Key?
Well, I can only think it is.
Yeah, well, that's written in it. Yeah, that's...
Who?
Yeah, Yog Sothoth. He's,
Yog who?
Yog Sothoth. That's Y-O-G, usually a dash or a hyphen, S-O-T-H-O-T-H.
An internet address.
Probably a demon co, yeah.
Yeah, and who is he then?
He has cloven hooves. He's kind of a demonic figure, basically...
This might seem a really silly question. Am I really simple for not knowing who this guy is?
No, I mean, it's not... Yeah, I think, I said it in a kind of, a commanding way, but no, he isn't a well-known character, but he's Aleister Crowley and has written the things, but he was mentioned in Nostradamus as being the kind of the second Messiah.
All right.
But who was actually evil, so it's kind of all tied up with...
When was Yog knocking around then?
Oh, he's always been around. He's in everything. He permeates everything.
Oh, is it a god?
He's not actually a god, he's a minion.
Is he?
A minion of a god.
You sure about that?
Well, I've never met him myself.
Right.
But
how do you spell his surname?
It's S-O-T-H-O-T-H, Sothoth.
Sothoth.
I think it's tied in with notions of tetragrammaton as well.
I doubt it.
It's kind of a witch link.
Yes. I'm sure there's a gag in there somewhere, Jim.
No, it's in the Oracle.
Well, where else would it be?
Indeed.
Well, that's added a bit more fuel to the Nostradamic fire, which is great.
Yogurt.
Thank you, Jim.
Thank you.
Yog Sothoth? I don't think so. If I said that as a kid, I'd have must have put on my tongue. 0500 1053 89. What is it with people that go on skiing holidays? Skiing flipping holidays. It's a fascination with a certain group of people that you've got to go on skiing holidays. And the only people that, the high-profile people you hear are going on skiing holidays are all that kind of Tara Palmer, Tom. How does she get away with writing that crazy column in the Style magazine of the Sunday Times? Which is just outright. I know that is the point of it, I know, that it's, the diary of a socialite. But it's just so darn dumb. Defies belief.
Defies belief. It's ludicrous, man.
Ludicrous, I'm telling you.
She hasn't got a modicum of journalistic integrity.
Absolutely.
What's she like?
And the royals, they're all out there. There's old Prince Harry or whoever it is on the front of all the papers today doing his thing.
On a bit of an old ski board.
On a bit of an old ski board, yeah.
Yeah. But I mean, what is the fascination with it? I don't understand it. I really don't. Too much money to waste if you're skiing.
And because I don't think I don't think there's such a thing as genuine people. I don't think real people go skiing.
Of course they don't.
I think skiing is for poncy people, but worse than skiers are people who go on dry ski slopes.
Oh, dear.
And they say, well, I've got to get in practice, just in case. And I've often tried to work out how you practice on A bit of old
mat.
Brittle mat.
That's exactly what it is.
For snow.
But do you know there's that ski slope?
Isn't
up
that
there,
like,
mate?
you know, practicing for your driving test with a Scalextric set? That's all it is. This is just the same thing. It's got no connection.
If there ever was a place you should not build a ski slope, it's where I live. I mean, how many folk around there actually go skiing?
This is true. This is absolutely true.
I have never seen a soul up that ski slope.
I'd be frightened that you'd fly off onto the flipping...
Onto the doodah?
Onto the what's it flyover, the Beckton flyover.
Beckton flyover. I tell you.
That is a really odd place for a ski. But nearly all places. There's one on the right. There's one on the side of the M20.
No.
There is a dry ski foot on the side of this M20. Now I'm sure somebody will convince us that there's enough bushes and barriers to stop a potential accident.
Yes.
But I'm not absolutely convinced that if you gathered a bit of speed, you wouldn't, you know, toss off to the central reservation.
Exactly. But there'd always be some clown who make a homemade ramp at the bottom or something, just because it's not dangerous enough. You know. You know, I'll tell you where else there's a ski slope. Another place should never be a ski slope. Arlo. In
Arlo?
Essex. Arlo. Is
there one in Arlo?
Nobody in Arlo goes skiing.
What's it there for?
I don't know, to make it look attractive, I suppose.
But the whole thing, I went skiing with the school when I was about 14, 15.
Right.
And we went on this trip to, I can't remember the name of the place, Châtel, I think it was called, or something.
Oh, Châtel.
Châtel.
Yeah.
And we nipped along, as you do, and they trained us for a couple of days on the little slopes and how to turn your skis around and what to do if you have a big accident. And it was all very nice, and we went skiing on very minor slopes. But what overwhelmingly got me every single time, and I really couldn't fathom this out. It was kind of like the sort of skateboard mentality of being a kid, and that is that it takes you 17 seconds to go 100 miles down this slope.
Yeah.
And 45 minutes to get back up it.
There you are.
So I don't think that's a good use of your time.
It's not.
I think there's better things to be doing with the following hour, having gone down the slope.
Exactly. And there's nothing but an encumbrance.
Big time.
Your ski foot thing, what are they called?
Lifts?
No, the
chair lifts?
No.
Skis?
Well, skis. That's
what they call skis.
Encumbrance.
They are.
You can't walk properly.
No, you can't.
You can't.
You can't. The idea is, this is another famous invention, the idea is that should the ski simply sniff a hazard below it,
right,
it will fly off.
Oh, yes.
In order to stop you breaking your legs.
Yeah, but surely you'd take off in a sort of trapeze
they either do or they don't. They either don't, and they just take your eye out.
Oh, great.
Which means you don't get a broken leg, but you can't see for the rest of your life. And I don't think that's a really good economy, really.
No.
And, or,
yes,
they do fly off.
Yeah.
Yonder.
You'd never find the buggers again.
You never find them again. They just disappear. Boom, gone. And you might just be really lucky and just catch the little top of it sticking up from the snow.
Yeah.
And so my one experience with skiing.
I'll tell you another dangerous thing about that skiing.
Full of possible.
Them pole things that they push themselves along with. I tell you what, you could stab somebody in all areas with that. You'd never be right after being attacked with one of them. Can you imagine it? An argument between two skiers and they start prodding one another with them sticks?
Well, I think they do.
You'd go with the first thing
I think they do. Highly dangerous. And those lifts, you know the lifts you go up
in? Couldn't get on one of them.
There's two sorts. There's the one that's like a little disc that you just pop between your legs and it drags you.
No.
Called a drag lift.
It would do.
Just drags you straight up there.
Yeah.
And that's a bit weird, because if you don't have your gloves on, your hands are stuck to the pole. So when you get to the top, it's on like a loop. And what happens is you get to the... You're on there, and your friend is in front of you or behind you, and you're chatting away quite merrily going up the mountain, and your friend in front jumps off, and you go to jump off, and you can't, and you just go round again and back down.
Does somebody go throw a bucket of water
and your friend's shouting, you're stuck to it, so you can spend like half a day just going round this little loop system because you're stuck.
I wouldn't get in on anything that grabs me between the legs and hoists me up a mountain. That sounds dangerous to me.
Absolutely.
Wouldn't have
it? Like a night out in Scunthorpe, doesn't it?
It does, really.
0500 10 53 89, all of that little lot. We'll talk about we must talk about cats. Community service. We'll talk... now, the claim to fame thing, I mean, you should know it's better than this. It's not claims to fame we're doing. It's claims to fame that people just didn't believe. Just didn't believe. I mean, I can hint at that story, can't I, the reason why we're talking about it? without mentioning names.
Yeah, without mentioning names, we can definitely speak about
it. A friend of ours wound up this is absolutely true, went away somewhere for Christmas, just for a break with some mates, and wound up spending Christmas Day with George Michael and his boyfriend.
How cool is that?
Well, but nobody would ever believe you. You come back and say, I spent Christmas with George Michael. No, you didn't.
No,
did?
Get out.
Honestly. Nobody would ever believe that. So there you go. Claims to fame that people just simply don't believe. 0500 10 53 89.
You're injured in an assault in the street or in your home. What do? You call Claims Direct. Every year they help thousands of innocent victims claim the compensation they deserve. Many people don't claim because they don't know how. Claims Direct do, and if we don't win, you don't pay. Call Claims Direct on 0800 316 1699 and be an innocent victim who wins compensation. Call 0800 316 1699 now. Remember, with Claims Direct, if we don't win, you don't pay a penny.
Your home is damp or overcrowded. You can't make the rent. Your landlord's giving you grief, or you think you could end up on the streets. It seems there's no way out. But if you call Shelterline free on 0808 800 4444, you'll get help with any housing problems you have. Give us a call before things get out of hand. Call Shelterline free any time of the day or night on 0808 800 4444. Shelterline is supported by BT.
Every year, Claims Direct help thousands of people who've been injured claim compensation as a result of accidents or assaults. Call 0800 316 1699 now.
You're listening to Talk Radio across the UK on 1053 and 1089 AM with Ian Collins.
Oh, thank you, Your Majesty.
With you in a second, please. Just don't go away. Talk Radio, Ian Collins and the Creatures of the Night. We're back doing our thing. Thank you for the faxes. Let's do a couple of these. David Lowe, who's in lovely Bournemouth. How are you, David? He says, you've just said you won't be around in the 21st century. Hopefully you will, as it starts in less than a year. No, I thought he said 23rd. 23rd century. I mean, I don't think I'll be around then, unless I take some miracle cure. P.S. Miff has just woken up the wife with his sound effects, and she has demanded I turn the radio off. Thanks a lot, Miff. I was really enjoying the programme. Gosh. Absolutely. What's going on? There you go. Thank you for that. Hello, Ian and Miff. This is Carly, formerly of Barking.
Oh, hello, Carly.
Do you know her?
I guess she used to ring up all the time, never go on air, though.
Was she?
Nah, strange woman.
Funny woman.
Strange.
She says, how's the crack? It's very nice of you to ask. Ages and ages ago, I told you that if I had a fax machine, I would fax you every night. Well, I've invested in a computer, so now I can. Are you pleased? We are triumphant. We are beside ourselves and over the moon. Got a joke for you. Two nuns were driving down a road when a vampire landed on the windscreen. The nun driving says to the other, quick, get out and show him your cross. So the nun jumps out and says, get off that car. That is so old.
Well old.
Well old. We'll do some more of those in a second. Francis is in Bristol. Hello, Francis.
Hello.
Hi.
Mr. Collins.
Welcome, sir.
One doesn't quite know how to approach you as where I'm trained. We are not familiar with people, and therefore we do give them credence of
any chance of
a bit of respect, as it were.
Any chance of a translation on that, Francis?
We give people respect. That's why we say, Sir, Mr. Collins.
All right. That's very nice.
If you
well, you work for the BBC?
I do work for the BBC. I work for World Service, sir.
In what capacity?
I'm a reporter.
Okay.
And I find it quite outrageous.
So this is the World Service Bristol arm, is it?
No. I'm travelling back to London.
Oh, I see,
and,
right.
I've been to see my family over New Year.
So you're based in Aldwych, are you, or are you somewhere else?
I'm so sorry?
Are you based in Bush House or somewhere else?
No, sir. No. One can't divulge such things, if you can understand. Towards
that's fine.
radio stations and all the rest.
That's fine. Okay. So anyway, what were you going to say?
Well, thank you for understanding, anyway. Well, I just find it quite outrageous that you have this attitude of lambasting the corporation, such as like a disgraceful disgraceful way in the past. The corporation has even given you employment, which is I find quite outrageous myself. Why do you have this?
Why are you outraged by it, Francis?
What am I outraged by?
Yeah.
The BBC is since Logie Baird invented the television, the BBC has been the flagship of British morality, British forethought, British education, British understanding.
So
yet you seem to forego all this for a cheap joke, a cheap thrill.
Well, I only mentioned Paddington Green.
But I mean, why on earth?
So is the BBC beyond criticism, since I own part of it?
You do not own anything.
Yes, I do.
It's all ideology of owning stuff because you pay the BBC licence. It's outrageous. I mean, you don't own anything.
It's a public broadcasting service financed by the public.
Mr. Collins,
all right, let's say I don't own it. Does that still mean that I'm not allowed to criticise it?
You can criticise anything from Mr. Mandela to Mr. Clinton to whoever, the Queen.
So why are you calling me up and saying I shouldn't criticise it?
What I'm asking you to do is to appreciate.
Yes, well, I do. I do appreciate the BBC.
As an Englishman, if not as a British UK national.
That's all very nice. I mean, I don't decry, but I'm not decrying the existence of.
What on earth do you mean? That's all very nice.
I'm not decrying the existence of a state-run broadcaster. I'm examining the finer points of its brief and wanting to know whether churning out certain documentaries.
Mr. Collins.
Francis, I have no idea where you're going with this.
Collins,
I don't know
may
what
I
you
say
want.
something upon you?
I don't know what you. I don't know what you want.
Collins.
I don't know what you. Francis, hang on.
Okay.
I don't know what your point is.
My point is this, okay?
Yes.
My point is this.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I was born in Kenya, okay?
Okay.
Rift Valley, place called Nakuru in Kenya. Came to England when I was 5 years of age, okay?
Yes.
England, Britain, afforded me probably the best education possible.
Good.
Okay? I could hardly afford that same education in my own country of birth, okay?
Okay.
When those that actually are English, that are born here, that have had families that have been born here, and all the rest of that, lambast something that is so incredibly fantastic across the world, and yet kids in my own country travel 30, 40 miles to get to any place of education. Yes. Don't you find that the most ironic joke in the world?
What?
Don't you find that within yourself?
No, what's more...
Within yourself?
What's more... Well, hang on, don't ask... No, Francis, you've just asked me the question. Oh, he's gone.
What is he all about?
He was a fool and a buffoon. Apparently the same guy that phoned James Whale earlier on and said he was an accountant from Camden.
He's a wind-up merchant, isn't he?
See, very few people master the art of doing that thing, you know?
Few and far between, sir.
Because he could have been really good.
But Mr. Collins, sir.
But Mr. Collins? Here's a question, don't want the answer. He could have been really good. And, to top it all, I've got Mrs. Mad coming on.
Hey! Oh, I wonder how mad she is tonight.
Can't wait. Don't go away, Emma, don't go away, Andrew, don't go away, Ali, don't go away, Mrs. Mad. Lines are open, 0500 1050 389.
The world of Talk Radio is now at your fingertips. The new look Talk Radio website, now giving you the chance to get involved. talk-radio.co.uk. You're part of our biggest ever audience, so we're giving you the chance to shape the future of Talk Radio. Log on talk-radio.co.uk. Visit Future Talk, and choose the guests you want to hear on your favourite programmes in the future. Talk Radio, the station that really does let you choose. Future Talk is exclusive to talk-radio.co.uk with Nationwide Building Society.
You're listening to Talk Radio across the UK on 1053 and 1089 AM with Ian Collins.
Oh, thank you, Your Majesty.
let's go. Is that Mrs. Mad?
Yeah, hang on. Happy New Year. Welcome back. We've missed you. Listen to Furby say Happy New Year to you. Furby, you've heard of Furby. Hang on. Hang on. That's my Furby. Can you hear him?
Why have you got a Furby? You're a 96-year-old woman.
That's why I'm getting me fifth youth.
Well, of
Can you
course.
hear him? Hang on. Wow. And he said hello to you. That's good luck.
Well,
for
that's
you.
fantastic.
Isn't that beautiful? And I got 5 new play games.
Did you?
Spyro the Dragon. Yes, and Bandicoot 3. And Tomb Raider 3. How are you, love? I bloody missed you.
Did you?
Welcome back, Intelligent.
I missed you too.
You didn't.
Oh, I tell you, I did. I had a conversation about you at Christmas.
Well, I'm psychic, you see. I've got power.
Have you?
Yes.
You
Anyway,
little
to let you
vixen.
know, welcome to all of you. Thank God you're back, because the radio's boring without the old bootlicking psychophants. They really do. You get all these moanbacks. And that one calling you Mr. Collins from Kingle. Well, to say stay there, tell him. Make something out there, love. Because honest, what a bore. Anyway, are you all right? You've been skiing? I know that. Eagles is a good place. I used to go to Eagles.
Did you?
Yeah, Eagles is
Yes.
in Austria.
Fantastic.
Beautiful. And how are you?
Very well.
Have you missed me then?
I did. Like you wouldn't believe.
Oh, but you've got to have something to really chirp you up. Give you a money run.
Yes, of course. That's exactly what we need, Mrs. Matt. There we are. What can I say? That's a shame because she wasn't mad, you see. We need her mad. And that's about the 3rd time she's called on the bounce and been nice. And the last thing we need is Mrs. Mad being nice, you know? So I don't think we're going to be able to put her on anymore, Pete, you know?
She was sort of mad.
Yeah.
She's always good value. I love her.
Anyway, you're not even going to be on this show anymore.
I know. It's very sad, isn't
Going off to pastures new.
Pastures new.
God, what do you like? Take you under our wing?
Yes.
The real irony of tonight was that before the show, I mean, you know...
yeah,
Pete,
tell the full story. Go on.
Pete came in tonight. He wasn't due to come in tonight.
Well, I was.
Well, you were, yeah, he was
5 o'clock.
booked, and at 5 o'clock, you know, everyone starts phoning around and saying, and you got the programme director's PA on the phone and phoning everybody and oh no, it's all got to change because Pete's wanted elsewhere and he's got to do breakfast and phone Claire, phone me and blimey, and got it all arranged and, you know, Miff's on the blower saying who's doing it and blah, God, dear me. So, and then we got into work and, like, there's a problem with our computer system. So Miff phones Pete. And ironically, you know, Pete came in and was trained by Miff. And here we have, like, a situation a few months later where Pete is training us. Ludicrous.
It's bizarre, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Bizarre.
Nuts.
So anyway, I'm
all
here.
over the show. So Pete's here, but from Monday he goes to work on the breakfast show. So all I can say is good luck to you.
The all-new breakfast show.
The all-new breakfast show.
It's going to be fabulous.
It is. Bundles of stuff going on that. And are there trails running for it?
Yeah. There will be very soon.
Very soon?
Very soon, yeah.
Right, okay. So the new breakfast show starts on Monday. That's not... I haven't divulged anything there, have I?
No. That's
sure, that's very sure.
That's public. That's
Is it?
public, yeah.
It's public.
Public.
New breakfast show.
That's right.
So lots of new shows coming in, lots of stuff happening, and ironically we're still here.
We are.
Don't know how that happened, actually.
Well, you are, not we. I'm not part of this team anymore.
No, you're not. It's Miff and me.
That's it.
That's it. Well, Claire's here tonight,
I am.
which is nice.
And enjoying every moment of it, Ian.
Yes, well, that's very good. Did you enjoy New Year's Eve, Claire?
I thought it was lovely.
Did you? You tried to snog me.
I did no
You
such
did.
thing,
You
madam.
did. As soon as that chime went, dong, 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 you went through that room like a dose of salts. Beeline, beeline. Never saw anything like it.
I never knew you had so many mad friends.
Oh.
These bizarre-looking folk turning up.
And the same thing, as always, you know, in the kitchen at parties, everybody in there. Chocker. Chocker.
Cigarettes everywhere.
Oh, cigarette, I tell you what, there's some filthy swines around.
Filthy.
There's places people leave fags.
You wouldn't catch me doing that, Ian.
No, I know you wouldn't. You wouldn't do that because you don't smoke anyway.
Anyway, no, anyway.
Yes. Anyway. So there. And it's 0500 10 53 89. And we've, yeah, because people said you're coming back after Christmas, and we said, yeah, we are. But we weren't sure. And then we did. But, like, anything could happen. Because I don't know what sort of radio we're supposed to be doing, really. I don't know if we're supposed to be doing something else, you know?
Like what?
Sort of more, you know, friendlier and so... Well, no, it's friendly. We are friendly.
We are very friendly.
It's just a little bit different, you know? It's just like... We'll talk about anything you want to talk about. We're not bothered about that. Yes, get on the phone.
Decent.
We're just trying try and put a different bit of a spin on it and have a laugh. Entertainment.
If you don't know what to do by now, I don't know what you're doing.
Absolutely. So, you know, we want to keep that into 1999 and for a while anyway.
Anyway, we partied like it was 1999, didn't we?
We did, and ironically, we never had that song played once.
I requested it not to be played.
Yes.
I'll tell you why we didn't play it.
Why?
Because the CD wasn't in the case.
That's correct.
And I think, Mr. Collins, that would be your fault.
Yes, because it was my CD.
So who was DJing at this event? Well, I didn't see who was doing...
Everybody had a go, I think.
I had a bit of a go, didn't I?
Yeah.
I had a bit of a go.
Everybody had a go. That's why the music was diverse.
Eclectic, I would have said.
Eclectic, indeed. That would be your word, wouldn't it?
It would.
Because I left early, so what did you see the New Year in with?
What music?
Yeah.
Well, someone bunged the television on.
Who put that on?
No idea, but the TV went on, and, like, you know, that seems loud if you stood next to it, but the other side of the room you can't hear anything.
Yeah.
And then we only had that little radio, didn't we?
Yep, that little radio thingy.
Strange,
I think it was because the guy who was supposed to sort all the music out was urgently required in other parts of London.
That's true.
Oh, yeah.
He was a wanted man that night.
The man who supplied the music system, some of his Ks went down.
Oh, big-time Ks.
Not good signs.
Big time.
Top of his business, he is.
Yes, absolutely right. So there we are. And it's 0500 1053 89. Right, let's just go to Emma, who's in Forfar. Emma?
Hi.
Can you hang on there a sec?
Yeah, certainly.
Don't go away, I'll be with you in just a tick. We got David over here. How are you, David?
Hello, yes.
Don't disappear, David. I'll be with you in just a tick. Ali is in Hull. Ali, how you doing?
You all right there, Ian?
Stay there, Ali. Don't disappear on us. With you in just a tick. We got Andrew in Batley. Hello, Andrew.
Hello, Ian.
Don't go away, Andrew. With you in just a tick. It's 0500 1053 89 if you want to find out what all of those people are going to say. And there's some interesting ones coming up as well, including a bizarre claim to fame, a Nostradamus angle, and what Emma thought the best thing on TV was this Christmas. You will not believe it. Stick around. Keep it Talk Radio. T and Collins and the Creatures of the Night on 0500 1053 89.
Broadcasting across the UK on 1053 and 1089 AM, medium wave. This is Talk Radio.
It's 2 o'clock. I'm Siobhan Harris. British and American jets policing the skies over Iraq are on high alert in case of further attacks. Iraqi warplanes fired on US aircraft. They then fired back, and the Iraqis beat a hasty retreat. Saddam Hussein, meanwhile, has gone on TV to call for Arabs around the world to overthrow their leaders if they're friends of America. Reporter in Baghdad, Julian Mannion, says it was a bitter attack.
The most striking thing about the speech was the sheer venom that he used against the Arab leaders. He described them as cowards, stooges, collaborators, and royal dwarves. That apparently a reference, for example, to the Saudi Arabian monarchy.
A secret meeting has reportedly been held between Gordon Brown and Peter Mandelson to try to patch up their differences. The Daily Mail claims the Chancellor and the former Trade Secretary held talks yesterday on the orders of Tony Blair. Interest rates could be on their way down again. The Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee starts a 2-day meeting today to discuss a further cut. Rates are expected to be shaved another quarter point. British scientists have developed a new way of stopping the growth of breast tumours. Researchers believe the findings could lead to the development of anti-cancer drugs for women with breast cancer. They've identified a way to eradicate an enzyme which makes cancer grow. The disease currently kills around 14,000 women in the UK every year. Cricket, and Alex Stewart is coming under fire for the loss of the Ashes. Former England all-rounder Ian Botham has hit out at the team captain for being what he calls tactically naive. Botham says Stewart must realise that he can't do everything himself.
We all love him and love the way he goes at the game, but to try and captain, keep and bat in the top 4 is, I'm sorry, it's just not on. Superman doesn't do that. And I think to do 2 is hard enough. To ask 3 is ridiculous.
Tennis, and Greg Rosensky has gone out in the first round of the Qatar Open. The British number 2 failed to convert 2 match points and paid the price dearly, losing to the German Bernd Karbacher. Independent Radio News.
Talk Radio satellite weather.
Save money on your energy bills this winter with British Gas.
And Talk Radio satellite weather. Cloud and rain, possible snow as well in the northern parts of Scotland. Stand by for a bit of that as well. Looking elsewhere, some rain early on in the northern parts of Ireland. It will get brighter later on. That's the same for North Wales and the northern parts of England as well. Rain to start with, but it might brighten up later on. Midlands and the southeast, rain spreading easterly throughout the course of the day. Heavy and prolonged, particularly in the west of the country, and in the southwest, dry and bright, very mild, but feeling fairly breezy. Top temperatures around the country up as far as 13 Celsius, but at coolest, it'll be down to 4 Celsius.
Talk Radio satellite weather.
Stay warm for less this winter with British Gas.
Shut up.
Talk Radio, can I help you?
Hi, can I talk to Ian, please?
3, 1. It's the real thing. A radio signal from another world. This is the flavor.
You whacked a BG in the Gajangas.
They were kicking it in the nuts.
Really? You certainly have the hump. Oh, your gander would be up. But he went to work with an unironed shirt and his boss shot him.
Maggie's bag.
Really?
Yeah.
That wasn't Dennis's sack.
Ian Collins and the creatures of the night.
Look, Jerky, I don't need to talk to you.
Brace yourself.
You'd better brace yourself. And we go to Forfar. Emma, hello.
Hi, how are you?
Hi, Emma. Very good, thank you. How are you?
I'm not too bad. It's lovely to have you back.
Yes, a pleasure to be back.
That Gordon fella was okay, but I don't know, I got a bit tired of him after a while.
He's a seasoned pro.
Oh, is he?
Yeah.
He's very slick.
30 years.
Oh,
Yeah.
You'll be soon ready for retiral, though, after 30 years.
He's only 26. Don't know how he does it.
No, neither do I. I was wanting to talk about Christmas TV.
Yeah.
What the best thing on over
Right.
the Christmas period
Was
definitely The Sound of Music.
The Sound of Music. Was that on about 2 days after Christmas?
No, it was on. I think it was on the Sunday before.
Oh, the Sunday
Christmas.
before Christmas. That was it. Yeah.
Yeah, just to get you in the mood.
Yeah, I noticed it was on, but I tried to avoid it.
That is shocking. That is an all-time classic.
You know, Julie Andrews will never sing again
I know, so I believe.
because she did some damage to her throat or something.
I know, it's a tragedy. So some might argue against that, but,
So, are you into musicals?
well, I like The Sound of Music.
Just that one.
And Annie, that was on as well. I quite enjoyed that.
Enjoyed that, did you?
Yeah. Did you not watch any of the musicals or anything?
Sadly, I missed them all.
Oh, damn.
Every darn one of them.
Oh, what a shame.
But I didn't see anything that was really good.
Oh, I tell you, the funniest thing that was on, Morecambe and Wise.
I missed that because I think I've seen most of them.
Yeah. Oh, you see, it was first time for me.
Was it a repeat or is it a new one?
No, it was a repeat.
Oh, right.
And that was definitely the funniest one. That's
Yes.
the funniest thing. And they're all, like, ancient things.
Yeah, I know. That's always the way, though. That's why BBC One chuck on 40 Towers on a Friday night.
Yeah, because that's funny as
25
well.
years old.
You can't beat it.
Can't beat it.
I know.
Did you watch Men Behaving Badly?
Yeah, I didn't really. I was watching the first one with my dad, which proved most embarrassing. It was a
Yeah,
bit
oh, blimey, wouldn't it just? I was
Can you
watching it with my
imagine?
mum.
Oh, what a shame. I can sympathise. It was
Yeah.
okay.
It was all right, but it wasn't hilarious.
No, not at all. I like that. I think because there was so much hype about it and
Yeah.
stuff, it just didn't live up to it at all.
Do you watch the soaps?
Yeah.
Tiffany.
It's been a bit depressing, though, between Alf Clark in it.
Yeah, I know, and what a time to go.
I know, exactly.
What a time to go.
In the middle of the party, just slips away. It's been very depressing.
And then, of course, with Tiffany...
I know. But do you not think Grant's got a brass neck? He was totally going on about to Frank last night. Not that I get involved in these soaps or anything, but he was leaning to Frank last night, and I thought, well, you've got a brass neck.
I think he's going to sort him.
Do you think?
I'm going to sort you. He's going to sort him, I think. And it's funny, what was going on in Tiffany's death scene? Because, didn't anybody think to do something?
I know.
They just all stood there looking at her.
Yeah, that's true. When Grant was rampaging out of the pub with Courtney.
He was holding the baby, and everyone just looked over. And looked over, and they all looked over, and Tiffany was trying to... what was she doing?
I have no idea. And it's when she was lying on the ground. Nobody thought to run and get an ambulance or anything. They all just stood round and watched.
Nobody said anything. She just laid there, and nobody sort of said, well, let's try some resuscitation.
Exactly.
Might be a good start.
I know. Well, you would have thought it would be... Well, it would be a good idea.
Yeah.
But it's been a very depressing time in the soaps.
Very depressing.
Definitely.
Very depressing.
But it's lovely to have you back.
And it's lovely. Well, it's lovely to have Nikki and Leanne back together as well.
Oh, I know. Though that
Coronation
Les
Street.
Battersby, he's wearing Jack's coat.
That's outrageous.
It's not on.
It's not on.
But I think Natalie's taking over the pubs a lot better.
Yeah, that's going to be good.
Yeah, I think
That's going to be
definitely.
good. Let's hope they don't lose it.
Yeah, but I do have a life other than the.
Of course you do. What do you do, Emma?
I'm at university at Dundee.
What are you studying?
Psychology.
Oh, my God. I've had a conversation with you.
Thanks very much. You're a total godsend. You see, when I'm trying to cram and get assignments done and everything.
Yeah.
Keep me up through the night. It's nothing like it.
That's what you need.
Yeah, definitely.
Good to talk to you, Emma.
Yeah, take care.
See you
Happy
later.
New Year.
And
See
you
later.
too.
Bye.
There we are. Well, we nearly spoke in unison there. That was good. Right, let's go to this line here because it's David who's down in London. David, you're on Talk Radio, sir.
Oh, hello, Ian.
Hi.
Yeah. Well, you mentioned two things that joined together for me, Jenny Eclair and fame.
Yes.
Because
Not normally synonymous, but...
I know, well, my claim to fame was I went to see her. My friend was producing the show for charity, and she was at the beginning of the show, and in the interval, there was a piano there, and my friend said, can I play the piano while people were having their tea and everything?
Yeah.
And then she came up and said, oh, the main act can't turn up. He's can't make it. This was in the second half, and I said, well... She said, well, Jen is pretty vulgar, so, you know, we can get away with pretty bad stuff. I said, well, look, so I sing a few songs on the keyboard. She said, oh, yes, please, we're a bit desperate. So I decided to sing the two great Ivor Biggin chart hits, which you probably know.
Of course, the old Doc Cox routine.
That's right.
Yeah.
I mean, am I allowed to mention the names of the two?
Well, I know what they are.
Yes, just in case other people don't. So I did it, and it went down really well. Anyway, the next day I got a phone call from my mother. She says, your friend's mother, who I've known all my life, is not speaking to you. She was highly embarrassed. She was sitting on the table in front of me with all her friends and didn't know where to look. She's a rather religious person.
Are you a natural entertainer, David?
I am, yeah. I mean, it's the first time I've ever actually done it with other professionals. I've done sort of cabaret and piano and impressions since I was about 16 when I get the chance, but usually either on my own or with a friend of mine who's a DJ.
Yeah.
We work together. But,
it's quite lonely in front of the bathroom mirror, though, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't do much about
holding that hairbrush.
No, I don't sing. That was a one-off. The singing.
So what do you do, David?
Well, I'm really now a psychotherapist when I can get the business and a healer, and just trying to pull in the business.
Sure.
But if I could have done, I know what basically happened. My friend Simon, who was the cousin of the producer. You've probably seen, you know, the cider ad, not the Strongbow, the other one with the aliens with the pointy head. Well, he's the barman in that.
Oh, is he?
Yeah. Now he was actually on with Jenny Eclair. He was the other act in the first half, and he is a dentist. And he did what I couldn't do, because when we were both the same age, we did our degrees together, and he was doing stand-up in the evenings, getting his equity card. Yeah. And then when he qualified, he's doing extremely well as a actor and comedian, and doing a little bit of dentistry as well, which...
well, let's hope he doesn't mix the two.
Exactly. Well, the thing was, I've had enough trouble doing my degree without going out and trying to get an equity card at the same time.
No, it doesn't really matter now, equity, does it?
Not as far as the law is concerned, but you try and get an audition or an agent without an equity card, and they'll sort of laugh at you and say,
they still wanted them.
They don't need it by law, but they don't really like you trying to get work without it. I had a few goes.
Yeah, I know that.
Gave up.
Yeah, the old extra work.
Oh, you're all right with that, but that doesn't count, you see. So.
But it used to count, and they did have a kind of. I know Emmerdale started using a lot of non-equity members, and there was a bit of an uproar, and so equity stepped in, and then they said, "Oh, okay, we'll use a percentage of equity members then." So.
Yeah, I mean...
People don't realise extras are professional actors.
Oh, of course they are. I've got a friend that does it, but I don't think she'll ever go on to anything else, because you really... Can no longer switch from one to another.
Yeah,
which is a shame. And I would like to do it. There's very little extra work in London, I've found. It's mainly in the provinces. You can do it quite easily.
Because I used to do a lot of extra work, but it was nearly all in London.
Well, she's in Manchester and she gets work regularly. So there's no problem doing Brookside and
the Street and
Cracker and things like that. So that's all done up there.
Because with London, you've got the bill and everything. I mean, that is true.
Yeah.
And I think in the last sort of 10 years, they're taking things to so many different locations now.
Yeah, there's too much demand. I got offered one thing up at Anglia TV, because I knew somebody that was with me. Oh, blimey, got to be in Norwich at 7 in the morning. It's not worth the trouble. But I mean, look, if somebody gave me the chance now, I'd do it at the drop of a hat. I would love to be on the stage or on the telly or something.
Yeah, I thought the extra stuff was fantastic. I thought it was just great to see.
Oh, well, yeah.
I enjoyed... I did it for about... I don't know, about a year or so, I suppose. And it got quite a lot of work out of it, and I still see people now on TV that were doing it at the time and earning a cracking living out of it.
Yeah, once you're on the system, they will keep using you.
That's exactly it.
The nearest I got was dismantling sets for a guy that hired out the furniture for the film sets all over Pinewood and around at Bournemouth. But I've never actually been in them. I've worked with the people and put it up but never performed.
Keep banging at it.
Yeah.
Keep doing it.
One day.
Yeah.
One day.
All right, David.
Okay.
Nice to talk to you.
Thanks, bye.
See you later. 0500 1053 89. I don't know what Extra Work's like now, but it was a cracking little existence. Just because the reason I did it was because I wanted to see how the whole thing worked, and I thought if I do Extra Work, I just got my equity card, and I thought I'd do Extra Work, and I can just find out how the whole thing works. You know what they do with cameras and stuff. And the first thing I turned up on, and it was the bill, first job I ever got.
On the bill?
On the bill.
How bad is it?
Crystal Palace swimming baths. I think it was Crystal Palace. Crystal Palace swimming baths next to Crystal Palace football ground. I think it is, or it was at the time. And I had to be a bloke in the changing rooms.
Oh, yes.
And so I turned up there, and I'm looking around, I thought, where's the... I'm here, and everyone else is here. Where's all the cameras and stuff? Where's all the cameras and all the microphones? Of course, it's one camera. One handheld camera.
Yeah, that's it.
Just a little bit bigger than the thing you buy down at Dixon's.
So how does it work out then?
Well, they film a conversation between me and you, for example. They'll film it from that angle. Then they'll film it just looking at me. Then they'll film it just looking at you. They call it reverses. And then they just edit it together. One camera.
Choppy and choppy.
Why do you need 3 cameras,
It must be incredibly difficult for the actors to keep everything in place and say everything the same way.
And I think that's where the old continuity thing comes in a bit, because...
yeah, you'd have to have a good continuity.
A lot of it's down to good sound editing and stuff. But, just one camera, and I was absolutely devastated, because, of course, as a kid, I wanted to be a cameraman, and, whenever... I mean, you see cameras on TV all the time now. It's part of most shows that they include cameras and wires and cables, because it all looks the part. But at the time, you never really got a glance at a camera. On the odd occasion, when I was watching Multicoloured Swap Shop or something, and you'd get a glance at a camera, I'd be beside myself, like Christmas, flipping it as a camera. Wow. It's an actual camera. And so doing that was really... It was great to do it, but I was devastated that just one little piddly camera on this bloke's shoulder was all they used. It was all sort of handheld stuff. And then I did Grange Hill.
Really?
Did I not tell you this?
No, you didn't.
Full of little secrets here. Full of little secrets. And it was filmed in Elstree, where they do EastEnders. And in fact, the Grange Hill set is like next to the Queen Vic.
I've been round the Grange Hill set and the EastEnders set.
Yeah, it's next, as you know, same place.
So we were wearing a blazer and stuff?
No, what it was, the kids had gone off... I wasn't a kid at the time. The kids had gone on work experience. It was like the last year of school, and they'd gone on work experience in a factory. And... No, I must have done it... Did I do... No, yeah, it was the same episode. I did it 2 or 3 days. They'd gone on work experience in a factory somewhere just out of Elstree. And, we were just factory workers, on lathes and stuff. And then the following week, they filmed inside down at Elstree, where I was sat there next to the kid, and I can't describe his name, but you'd know if you saw him, but he was a bit of a hard nut.
It wasn't Ziggy, was it?
He had a bit of a flat nose.
Yeah,
and then
dark hair.
Yeah, dark hair.
Yeah, possibly.
Yeah, it was probably him. And then it was the girl who was, how can I describe her? She was hilarious. You've never heard a girl swear like it in her life. She was one of the kids in Grange Hill, But they were all about 16, 17 by that stage. And you'd recognise her as well. And also the other sort of fat kid with spiky-ish short hair.
Oh, yeah, I know.
And we sat around at this table, and this was real television. There was like 10 cameras in this place, all over the show. And they were using like 3 of them for that shot, on cranes and everything. And I thought, this is fantastic. This isn't what it's meant to look like. It's what it's meant to feel like this. It's not meant to... The one, the dill.
Exactly.
That's what I say. What's going on there? So, yeah, loved all of that. And who walked past my house the other day, walking his dog?
Go on.
But Zammo from Grange Hill.
No.
2 days ago. I looked out of there, and I saw this bloke walk across the zebra crossing, and I thought, looks like that Zammo bloke. And he got a bit closer, and it was him. And, staring in my window.
Was he?
And he was with a girl, and I think the girl he was with looked like a girl he used to be in Grange Hill as well.
Wow. What sort of old hound did he have?
I couldn't fully recall the mutt.
It was a basset, was it?
But it wasn't a dirty basset. But it was something else.
Dirty bastard.
Quite a strongish dog. Not a bull terrier or anything, but it resembled something. I can't honestly remember.
Yeah.
It was dog-shaped.
Well, it would be.
Yes.
It being a hound.
Yeah.
But there you are.
Bless them all. 0500 1053 89. Ali, don't go away. Andrew with you in a second. We've got Paul, Naomi, Danny coming on as well. And we're back after this.
I'm Scott Chisholm. He was one of the most powerful men in the country, the architect of New Labour. Now he's out of office, but not necessarily out of power. Find out what he doesn't want you to know. He's Peter Mandelson's worst nightmare, the journalist whose unauthorized biography, Mandy, has been dominating the headlines. Meet the Mirror's Paul Routledge.
Scott Chisholm on 1053 and 1089 medium wave.
This morning from 9.
Talk Radio.
You're listening to Talk Radio across the UK on 1053 and 1089 AM with Ian Collins.
Now somebody phones up and says, hey, I don't know if you know this, that Zamo from Grange Hall moved to Australia 20 years ago.
Yeah, as they will.
Yeah, doubtless. 0500 1053 89. If you are hanging on, whatever you do, don't go away. We're off to lovely Hull. Ali, how you doing?
Hello, Ian.
Hello.
You right? Can I make a couple of points before my main thing?
Of course you can.
First of all, great to have you back.
Thank you, sir.
Because you said when you first went off, try and give Gordon a listen. I tried to give Ghastly Gordon. If you're ever feeling ghastly, tune to Gordon Astley. The worst thing ever. That was awful, to be fair. But
don't be horrible.
No, no, but you've got to be honest, haven't you, Ian? You like honesty, don't you?
Absolutely. You know? Everyone's entitled to their opinion.
Yeah, yeah. And secondly, is it me getting older? Was television absolutely awful over Christmas or what?
No, it was terrible. It was so bad.
Worse every year, I think.
It was so bad, it was unreal.
It was absolutely awful, wasn't it?
There were so many bad things on the box.
Remember Behaving Badly is the most overrated comedy in the history of television.
Big time.
You know, when you watch Fawlty Towers and things like that, it's embarrassing.
And, actually, I made a list of... I was trying to look for it, and of things that I saw on the box that we can't swear, no swearing, that's not allowed, and, you know, and all the rest of it, we get in trouble. So, Ali's been taken off the air to be reprimanded by Claire.
Silly goose.
Yes.
Silly Ali.
So stay there, Ali. Gotta wait for me delay to build up now.
You dirty basset.
Dirty basset. Right. I'll come back to Ali in just a sec. What else have we got here? Yeah, no, speaking of greedy bassets.
Yeah.
And there's a lot of greedy bassets around. Hello, Claire. How are you, darling? Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Did I get that one earlier and didn't read it out? I might have done.
It's not really worth reading. That fax is from the majority of the callers tonight. Same kind of chap.
Oh, really? It sounds like you are going to knock the BBC tonight. Must not do it, don't you know, they are omnipotent. So they can do things their way and take no notice of Joe Public, a bit like yourselves. You also take no notice of Joe Public, who come to tell you facts. Mr. Celsius was a very clever man who invented a metric way to measure temperature. Centigrade, centigrade, centigrade. Have you got it? Out of 360 million citizens of the EU, only us here in this small island are out of step. We are at the heart of Europe, so we are told over and over again. Let's hear it for the euro, the kilogram, and Mr. Celsius as an invention to centigrade.
What?
How is that a representative of...
Foolish.
Oh, foolish. Oh, I see what you're saying, yes. I think you meant lots of people are making the point about Celsius. I don't believe Philip Howe, who's also in Hull, actually, where Ali is, really means that. No. Anyone with a modicum of intelligence will know that the euro thing is, at very, very best, dicey.
Ludicrous.
Ludicrous. And is absolute worst, the most undemocratic, the most untenable, perhaps some might say dangerous political act ever undertaken. And it can't be done without the say-so of the people. It's just a very simple equation. I am not anti-Europe in any shape or form. And if I thought by getting together it would make a world of difference and it'd be a fantastic way to do so, then I'd be first in the queue. But I don't actually think it is. And I think anyone, and this is what scares the pants off me, economically, to suggest that the various economic structures and the financial infrastructure of all those different countries can come under one umbrella. And the demands on economies, the climates of various economies. I'm no economist, but I mean, to me, this is just superficial, obvious stuff that anyone can work out. That all those economies that are diverse, different, culturally we're all different as well, can all come together and gain a satisfactory piece of the euro pie for themselves. I don't think that can happen. I just don't think you can coerce people into that stew. It ain't about not liking the French. I love the French. It ain't about not liking the Germans. I love the Germans. I ain't got problems with any of those things. I'm not going to jump on that old we hate the French, we hate the Germans bandwagon, because that's not what it's all about. That's dumb. There's not many places in Europe I've been to that I didn't like.
Yeah.
But I just don't think... Firstly, it's undemocratic, because nobody's asked us about this. Yeah. And don't blame Tony Blair for this, everybody. Don't blame Tony. You're talking about, Major, Thatcher, Heath, and back into the 20s when this kind of stuff was being sorted out. So,
I saw a little thing on Channel 4, day 4 yesterday, I think it was, and they was interviewing your German, and your German was saying they're not into this euro.
No, they're not.
They don't like it.
They're not.
They don't. You're Dutch.
Yeah.
They don't want your euro. They pie people who say good to the euro.
That's right.
They do. They get it right in the mush.
The Dutch finance minister.
They done him.
Yeah.
You're Spaniard. Too stupid to know what a euro is.
That's the problem.
Can't get his head round his pesetas.
No.
So how can he do it with his euro?
Mañana. He wants to bring it in tomorrow.
You're Italian.
When they brought it in yesterday.
Exactly. You're Italian. His currency up and down like a cheap tart straws on a Saturday night.
Isn't it?
It is.
Isn't it?
It is. How can he possibly qualify that with a euro?
No idea at all.
No idea.
No idea at all. Oh, blimey.
You're Greek.
Greek. Yeah.
Greek is all Greek to them,
it's all, isn't it?
Isn't it?
Isn't it?
I tell you.
Isn't it?
Euro.
Yeah.
Puro.
Yeah. Portuguese.
Portuguese.
Yeah.
The only thing they're good for is Portuguese, whatever they are.
Yeah. Escudos.
Escudos.
Yeah, excuse me. That's what I say, Mr. Portuguese.
Fuldos.
Yeah. What's up with you? It's on a slightly serious note. It's not really about it's not about the currency. From my point of view, it's not about a currency. It isn't about having if it's sensible and prudent to have one currency, then you've got to stick your hand up and say, well, it might be a bit awkward to get used to it, but okay. It's a thin end of a rather unfortunate wedge. It's the political union thing, and that's what I can't quite work out. And it's all very attractive to have these nice kind of interest rates that are half hours.
Oh, yeah.
Fantastic. Oh, let's nip down to the local bank where we can get this, beautiful mortgage for our house. Fantastic. But in terms of taxation, continental Europeans are taxed to the back teeth. To the back teeth in all sorts of direct and indirect ways, more prominently. And that is where my worry is. I hate this idea that anyone who's got a question mark over the euro is for some reason cast as anti-European. That's not what it's about at all. The fact is nobody anywhere along the line has given us a satisfactory answer or a say in the affairs of this country.
And nobody understands it properly.
And nobody really understands it. And by the same token that I think it's dangerous for people to just write it off in an anti-European way for the sake of being anti-European, I also think it's equally, if not more dangerous, to support it and embrace it in a pro-European way without qualification. Oh, it's got to be good. Why? Well, because it makes more sense to have one currency. For God's sake, mother, it ain't about one currency. That's not what the issue is here. It's bigger. It's a wider issue than that. It's not about saying, oh, well, we'll also have better opening hours and, we've now got to talk about a turnaround. People from France are coming to shop over here now. And they used to have all these liberal opening hours, and now our stores are open 24 hours a day.
Absolutely.
It's not about enjoying some of the finer cultural points of our continental European partners. That's not the issue. We know that there's some great things we'd like to bring over here. I'll go for that siesta thing for a kick-off.
Oh, we'll have some of that.
Have some of that. Siesta. Brilliant idea. Fantastic idea.
Lovely.
I'll go for the wine culture a bit more.
A bit of cheese culture.
But cheese culture, but more ambitious foods and stuff.
Yeah.
I'm all for all of that. I love all of that. But that isn't the issue over Europe. That isn't the major dominant issue that faces European Union today. It ain't about cheese, it's not about money, it's about something greater than that. It's about the most undemocratic move, certainly this century, that's ever taken place, and it's about the unfeasibility of that move as far as I can see.
I agree with you.
Yeah, it's just a case of jumping in. I don't think it's going to work. I think it'll just go belly up and they'll have to rethink it. 0500 1053 89. Right, we're going to take a quick pause. We are back with Ali and Paul, Naomi, Danny, Chris, Andrew and others after this.
Claims Direct know that hundreds of thousands of people are injured in the UK every year. Claims Direct also know that only a fraction of these people receive compensation. If you're the innocent victim of a road accident, an accident in the workplace, an assault, a trip or a fall, Claims Direct could fight your case. Thousands of people have already been awarded millions of pounds, and the best part is, if you don't win, Claims Direct pick up the entire bill. You don't get charged a thing. To find out if you can claim, call Claims Direct now on 0800 316 6099. Claims Direct. If we don't win, you don't pay. 0800 316 6099.
You're listening to Talk Radio across the UK on 1053 and 1089 AM with Ian Collins.
Claims Direct.
Right, let's get Ali.
Hello there, Ian.
Are you back?
Yeah, I'm back.
You've been told off?
I've been, yes, told off is the word.
That's all right. Anyway, go on, you were saying.
Yeah, I was saying about how bad the television was on over
That's right.
over Christmas and how awful it was, and you was going to give me a list of...
Yeah, I was just looking for my list. I can't find where it is, but I think we know what most of those programmes are.
Yeah, and another tip to listeners, you've got to have Sky, that's the trouble. Best programme on telly, without a doubt. I know it's unbelievably sad because it's from the past. Classic Coronation Street. Granada Plus.
Yeah.
6 every night, the great. Yeah, it's about meeting somebody famous. I was in Sheffield with my girlfriend.
Oh, yeah.
From where she's from. And I bumped into a certain Prince Nassim Hamed.
Did you?
And I've been to watch about six of his fights.
Yeah.
And I got talking to him, and just said about how an hero he is, a man, and things like that, you know, for British sport, because we haven't got many to look up to.
Sure.
And he invited me back to his home.
Did he?
He had an entourage with him, all big bouncer guys, you know.
So
he invited me back.
Did you go back?
Yeah, I went back. Met his family and his girlfriend and all that.
Really?
It was only 2 months ago.
You and your girlfriend?
Yeah.
And he was a nice bloke?
He was a nice bloke, you know. I mean, he comes across as arrogant and on telly a lot, but he was a really nice, down-to-earth bloke.
So what did you do round Nassim's house?
Well, no, we just, you know, he showed me his belts and things like that.
Did he really?
His old...
The tinker.
Photos, yeah, and all his memorabilia.
Did he make you a cup of tea?
I talked to his dad, yeah. And he made, I had a meal as well there. He was absolutely fantastic.
Well, was he wearing baggy shorts in the street?
No.
I kind of figured that he might just sort of wear those...
you know, just tracksuits.
Was he?
You know, yeah.
And the funny thing is, how small can a man possibly get? He's tiny, isn't he?
Oh, he's it's unbelievable, you know.
I mean, you know he's small, you don't think he's going to be
I'm a big fan of racing as well. I went to Newmarket, and you don't realise how jockeys, how tiny they are.
I know, they really are tiny.
Absolutely tiny.
They really are tiny.
Yeah. But it could still pack a punch, though, even on me, you know what I mean?
Yeah, that's right.
But it was just an absolute joy, you know, because, like I say, we haven't got many people in sport, and I know a lot of people want him to get knocked out and things like that, but he's just a big hero, man, you know what I mean?
Good stuff.
Absolutely delighted to meet him, I was.
Okay.
So I thought I'd ring you up and tell you that, Ian.
I'm glad you did, Ali.
Okay, nice to talk to you.
And you too.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. Prince Nassim invited him around his house for a cup of tea. Blimey. Don't believe him. But that's the point, you see. It's a claim to fame people never believe.
Absolutely.
Do you believe him?
I don't.
No one believes him.
I don't.
None of his mates will believe it.
No, they won't.
But that's what we're doing here. Right, I'll do another fax in a second. I must go to Danny over here. Hello, Danny.
All right, then, mate.
Yeah, how you doing?
Yeah, I was just phoning up about, a bit of a while ago now, all that the Nostradamus stuff.
Yeah, no, fire it in there.
Moved on a bit from now, but
that's all right, anything you like.
Basically, this is from my reading of Nostradamus and interpretation I read of it. This is, you know, quite a bizarre concept, but it's basically on the fact that everything that is evil in the world is to do with rubber.
Really?
Yeah, if you actually look...
Where does that leave safe sex, then?
Well, yeah, really. I mean, but if you'd actually, look at the way that the several of the articles that Nostradamus wrote, and it actually translates down to a direct compound of the the equation that goes to produce rubber.
So why is rubber evil?
Well, just look at the amount of misery that rubber's caused in society.
What, like what? Car crashes?
Car crashes and fridges.
You're never going to keep this up, Danny.
Keep what up, mate?
Go on, pause for a second. Go on. Oh, you're doing so well!
People that wear black rubber are evil.
No, they're great.
No, the actual people...
I'm wearing it now.
Well, no, you can't be, are you?
Maybe I'm the devil.
The devil incarnate, yeah?
No, the devil in the studio.
No, I mean... Look.
No, yes. Thank you very much. Cheers, Daddy.
Cheers.
No, you don't say cheers, Daddy. I say that. You say cheers, Ian. Rubber. You've got 32 minutes to tell me that. What's up with the boy?
I think he was into rubber.
I think you might be right. Where are we going? We must do a bit of Scunthorpe. My hometown. Hello, Paul.
Hello, sir.
Hello.
Sir.
How are you?
Sir Ian Collins.
Sir, yes. One likes to be called sir.
Yes, you've got to be respectful, haven't you?
Of course you have.
Yes.
Absolutely.
I'm a very respectful person.
Yes, I know you are.
Yes, I wanted to talk about the skiing malarkey.
Yeah, yeah.
It's like, when I was at school, when I was about 12, I think it was, we was going on a trip to Austria skiing.
Oh, yeah.
So the school thought it would be kind of neat to take us tri-skiing in Sheffield.
Never do Sheffield.
It's got a good night spot, but tri-skiing,
It's got a good shopping centre, but, you know.
Well, yeah, but tri-skiing is totally different to, like, alpine skiing, you know?
Well, I think we know that.
Yeah, I know, but, you know, the actual skiing bit, I know it's not snow.
Yes.
Do you know what I mean?
Yes.
The feeling.
Yes. It's not snow, no.
Well, you know what I mean?
Did you hurt yourself?
Yes, I did. I cut my hand open.
Did you?
Yeah, because, you know, on the actual thing, it's like a grid, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right, yeah.
And you got, like, bristles coming up.
That's it.
And they're well sharp.
So if you'd have done that on snow, you'd have been all right.
Yeah.
Because you'd have just gone, oh, my hand's a bit cold, got a bit of snow in my glove.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you're talking about those flipping bristly old mats, a right dangerous affair, if you ask me. 0500 1053 89. Down in London, it's Chris. Hello, Chris.
Hello, mate.
Hi.
You want a couple of things. First, Christmas gifts that almost killed you. It wasn't me that almost killed.
Yes.
It was my 84-year-old grandmother.
Really?
Yep.
Granny nearly got killed as a result of a gift?
No joke, no joke.
What was happening here, then?
I bought a Christmas tree for her and a set of lights.
Oh, yeah.
From a big store, I shan't mention which.
No.
I plugged the lights in and got an electric shock. And I mean, it really...
did?
Yeah, and it really knocked her about all Christmas.
All Christmas?
Well, I mean...
Hadn't you let go of them by then?
No, but I mean... It really shook her up and upset her all Christmas. I mean, I had to take her round to casualty.
Yeah.
But I mean, we've heard absolutely nothing from the store.
Nothing at all?
Nothing. We took them back to the store. They says, you know, we'll be in touch. We'll have them looked at. I mean, this was like 3 weeks prior to Christmas.
Yeah.
When we were putting
were you there when this happened?
No. I wasn't. She was on her own, which made it even worse. She actually rang me, and she was sort of really shook up. But just because to show...
Lit up, I should think.
Yeah. Anyway, moving on to these showbiz cronies.
Yes.
One successful and one not so successful. Zoe Ball is so successful now. She's decided she's got to quit live and kick into a girl. Yeah. She's so tired. It is a shame.
It is a bit, isn't it?
But the one that makes me smile the most is Vanessa Feltz. This wonderful debut, 2.5 million to be poached to the BBC, and she can't even get the ratings that the girl that replaced her on ITV got.
Now, isn't it funny? It's because the expression, you know, that should be aimed at the BBC is, we could have told you that already.
They're just
springs to mind.
The BBC, I swear, they're getting worse.
They are
They're just
nuts.
wasting our money.
They are nuts. Did you watch the Vanessa thing?
Yeah.
What was it like?
It was diabolical.
Was it really bad?
It was so... wonderful me. But she's awful anyway. I took my nieces and my sister down to Big Breakfast, and she's I'm sorry, Vanessa, but you're one of the most obnoxious people. She just... Oh,
in your opinion, of course.
In my opinion, yes.
Yes, absolutely.
Allegedly.
Allegedly,
but she was. I mean, she was so up herself. It was just... It's no surprise, and I really think the BBC...
Trouble is, you know, what they did, this is the problem they've got, and all programmers, BBC or otherwise, kind of have the same problem. These enormous pressures are put on top of producers, executive producers, editors, directors, you name it, right down to, runners and whoever, to come up with the goods. They're always thinking, got to come up with the goods, got to come up with the goods, got to come up with the goods. So they pounce on things. That's why you see the fat camp guy from the airport show.
Oh, Jeremy.
Jeremy Fat Camp. The reason we see him on the box, because he might be a great bloke, is because he's current, he's been on there, and there's bound to be an audience that like him. He probably won't be there in 2 years' time, but he's, they're bouncing on it now because they think we've got to get something that's going to work, so they can go back to their bosses, who can go back to their bosses and their bosses and their bosses and say, look, we've got this show, it's the guy, he's current, he's on the air, everybody knows who he is, love him or hate him, even those who hate him, like, probably half the population are going to tune in just to confirm that they hate him.
It's like the guy on the parking ticket.
Yeah, he's got some gigs as well.
He's doing some gay blind date program on Sky.
Yeah,
sorry, he's a fool.
Yeah.
He's an idiot. He's a twit.
Yeah.
No, I mean, he's just
having said that, I think you were right the first time.
He's just so over the top and so camp. It's just unbelievable.
The thing they did with that's exactly why he got the gig, the clamping fella, because he's camp, and they think, oh yeah, this will do. It's a bit, it's kind of, they can't find what they're really looking for, and they don't really know what they're really looking for, and they don't really want to make the programs they're really looking for. They're really making. They kind of, it's just this, we've got to do it now, there's a deadline, we've got to have this proposal into the boss, and it's got to look right, and it's got to look current, and it's got to meet, it doesn't matter if we don't get commission for another series, it doesn't matter if it doesn't come back next year, as long as it works instantly, and by the time the audience have discovered that it's crap, it would have finished anyway.
Absolutely.
And we take it off, and we just go and make something else. And so that's what they do. That's why, you don't see repeat business in programmes so much these days. You see repeat ideas, because somebody turns it on, realises it's a pile of old poop, says, won't ever watch that again, but by then it doesn't matter, it's finished. And the next thing comes on, week or so later, different series, you watch it the first one, it's not very good, you give it a whirl the second week, you say, I'll try it one more time. Doesn't matter by then, a few million people have tuned in, you've done what needed to be done.
Yeah.
End of story, it's fine. Fillers. And the Vanessa thing, of course, exactly the same mentality, mark my words, that somebody somewhere thought, hello, there's Vanessa Feltz, she's available, and let's get her in, because, we think, everybody knows who she is, like her or hate her, everyone knows who she is, and the catastrophic mistake. I mean, will heads roll over this? Probably not, because they all kind of protect each other at these strange moments. And again, it's slightly, a show only started yesterday or the day before, so you have got to give it some sort of time to bed in there. That's the only kind of room I'll give her on this one. But, so on comes Vanessa to the BBC, and instead of saying, we want Vanessa to present this show, they say, well, we've got Vanessa, let's build a show around her.
Which is ridiculous.
Well, to build anything around Vanessa is ridiculous.
Yeah, there'd be a huge...
It's always going to be, yes. A fence would be nice, but...
Have you noticed they started doing these copycat shows? I mean, they've done it with the talk shows where the audience is in and having people having the pops at one another and all this business. But they've done it with that changing room.
Yeah, they've now got Carol Vorderman, of all people.
Going home, or...
Yeah. That's right. But then ironically, I saw a trail on BBC One for Carol Vorderman again, building a house for the millennium or something, a new... environmentally friendly house or something. So it's another house thing. Houses, chefs, you name it.
Yeah, that's it, the cooking thing. Copycats. Oh, that one's successful, so ours will be
So this one will be.
A load of old rag.
But the Vanessa thing, I mean, it's a mistake of cyclopean proportions to take the person and then find them a format.
Yeah.
Never works. There's a couple of other people I know. I mean, this is what, how desperate they are for it. I won't name who they are, because they're very high-profile people who were good at one thing or two things, and so ITV or the BBC come along and say, we must sign that person up, but we are so scared we're going to lose them, we'll sign up for 5 years. And they sign up for 5 years, like, a couple of million quid for that time, and they say, well, in that 5 years, we don't know what you're going to do yet, we just want you.
Yeah.
And this is the problem, and there's a couple of really high-profile bods on the TV at the moment who are really getting away with murder because they're not on anything, because they can't find a format for them.
Yeah.
They've realised, well, actually, we didn't really need to spend that money, because they are good, but they're good at that one thing.
But they're not good at anything
else.
But
what we've done is book them up to do 500 shows over the next however many years, And we've mucked it up because, you know, they're not actually good at the other shows.
No.
Unreal. It's just such incredible incompetence. And when it's on the BBC, of course, to pay in public do have a bit of a say in it. I'm not for banning licence fees and stuff, but there's an argument about how much it is and what should be done with the beeb, etc. But it's just, you know, who are the people that think these things?
But the other thing is the other night I was watching something and I decided I was going out to the pub, so it didn't really matter. But there was one geezer. And now, if you're not in London, you wouldn't know who he is, really, I suppose. Chris Tarrant.
That's right, yeah.
And he was on one show, and then half an hour later, he was on another show.
He was, yeah.
You can have overkill of people presenting.
Yeah.
And they're sticking these people, because they've paid them so much money over a period of time, they've got to fill these shows with them to make them earn their money.
Unreal.
That old rag.
In fact, we'll talk about that when we come to human greed in a few moments' time. 0500 1050 389.
So what went wrong last night?
I don't know. Can I have some resolve?
Not until you tell me.
All right, I got the lager in, naturally.
That explains the hangover.
Yes, and my need for resolve. It'll relieve this thumping head, soothe my upset tum.
Then what?
I'll feel better.
No, the Christmas party. Why didn't anyone turn up?
Fog?
You didn't send the invites.
I forgot.
Like I forgot the resolve.
You didn't. Say it ain't so.
It ain't so.
Resolve for the morning after. Always read the label.
You're listening to Talk Radio across the UK on 1053 and 1089 AM with Ian Collins.
Now that's talent.
The Ferns. Now, this is Andrew in Batley. Andrew.
Hello, Ian.
Hi.
Good morning.
Welcome.
I just wanted to phone about the Nostradamus quatrain for 1999. The first gentleman who phoned didn't understand it at all. It's not written in code, it's simply written in French language. And all they have to do is translate it. What he says is, that in 1999, a great king of terror is going to come from the sky. It says this King of Terror is going to resurrect a leader, a war leader, who's going to, within a year, cause a third world war. Now, after that, the consequences of that war are going to lead to another leader of a far Asian alliance.
Oh, yeah.
Once he sees that the West has been dented by Russians and Muslims, he then is going to decide it's now time to go against West because there's strong views against America in China, a lot of other Asian countries. He then is also now going to lead his armies through Russia against the West as well. And Nostradamus said that the person from the East would be the third Antichrist. But it's nothing to do with rubber. And it's...
No, I didn't think for one moment it was, actually.
But it's not actually in code. I think a lot of people make that error, but it's not in code. It's simply in the French language.
Oh, I heard it was in code, actually.
No,
because I thought I saw a copy of a book by a Whitstable author.
Yeah, they use that as in deciphering what he's saying, you know, simply translating the language. Some people think one word means a different word to what someone else does. That's the only coding involved. But he did say that the wars would go on for 30 years altogether. So whoever comes in 1999 and 7 months, which is July, is going to come from the sky when the far left is in power in France, and is going to cause this whole fracas. So
are we going to see somebody come from the sky? Will we know it's them?
That's the thing. You see, all of his other quatrains, some of them were very ambiguous. But this one is so easily understandable with the way he's written it. So he also used the date 1999 now. He died 30 years before the Christian calendar was invented. The only other ever date he gave was 1792, which was date for French Revolution.
Yeah.
But he gave the date 1999 and 7 months. Now, I don't know whether it's someone symbolically coming from the sky or whether it's someone coming into a country where they're going to assume power. I don't know. but that's all he said. His name's supposed to be Labustas Elias. I don't know what that means in English or what it could mean in English.
Yeah.
But he also pointed out that nuclear weapons would be used because he pointed out to cities being consumed by burning fires.
Did he?
Yeah, huge walls of fire that had spread through
He was
cities.
Happy Devil, wasn't he?
Well, I think he was genuinely trying to warn everyone. But he did say that after the 30 years there'd be 1,000 years of peace, but also at the same time as the wars there's going to be cults rising up. Before millennium, massive cult groups rising up all over. This person is going to be the figurehead for them. Also, famines, disease, pestilences are all going to break out all over the world. Right. So it's really going to be a terrible test to get through, but then he said if you do get through this, then, you know, he said mankind will eventually reach the stars and everything else. So I just wanted to put it straight so everyone understood, because I think a lot of people, you know, don't fully understand what he was trying to say.
Do you think it's going to happen?
Well, yes, because if you think about it, he said the Third World War would be against the Islamics and the Russians.
Yeah.
And if you think about Saddam Hussein now, for example, trying to rally all the Arab countries around him, the Russians sticking up for him and backing him and saying, leave him alone, don't bomb him, pulling away ambassadors from Britain and America.
Yeah.
It seems to be pulling that way, and also the far left party is in power in France at the moment. And he said all this 400 years ago. So he seems to be hitting everything on the head.
A bit scary, isn't it, right?
Yeah, it is. It's very scary, yeah. I don't want to put you off on your first day back.
No, sorry, you just put me off my cheese roll, actually.
But, you know, you should really get the book and read it for yourself, and you really will understand it. It's very clear-cut. Okay, then, Ian.
Andrew, cheers.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. 0500 1053 89. Thank you to Dave at Doves. Good old Dave. Here is a joke. What is the connection between Clapham Common and a fiver? They're both green and have a queen on them. That's quite a good gag, actually. Not bad at all. Right, don't go away now. I'll be with you in a second. Shima.
How you doing, babe?
How are you, darling?
Year?
And you too?
Fine. Did you have a good one?
Not bad. Did you?
Good. Oh, it was wonderful. I went to my first New Year's Eve party ever.
Ever? Why?
Yeah, well, you see, the thing is, it's my dad's birthday on the 1st of January. So every year at New Year's Eve, we have this big family do. And it's the first time in my life I was ever allowed to sort of, like, break free and go to a party. And
so you didn't go to the family do?
No.
Was he upset?
Well, he sat there and said, oh, all my children are leaving me. And I was like, no, Dad, you're just Asian and overreacting. And
did a load of people on horses come and start singing?
Yeah, and we had the whole cast of goodness gracious me there as well. Yeah. No, but something similar. Anyway, yeah, so it's really good. So that's enough of me sort of getting excited about going to parties at the age of 22. The reason why I phoned up was quite a few things, really. The first one was about meeting famous people and sort of claims to fame, because my dad, he's lovely, bless him, but he can be a bit sort of spotty and a bit of a nerd. So when he was young, he was brought up in India and Pakistan, and they didn't have a TV at the time, and so they had to sort of young people had to sort of entertain themselves, and in many ways. And one of the ways my dad entertained himself and his friends was by using the Ouija board. And they'd call spirits from the dead and all the rest of it. And some stories were quite scary, well, not scary, but a bit weird, because my dad asked, who do I marry and stuff, and the spirits gave the name of my mum and the exact number of daughters and sons and, you know, the dates and everything. Right. And it was really, really quite freaky. And my dad, being a scientist, he sort of meticulously wrote, he would actually call the spirits, and his cousin would write down all these facts very carefully. And soon they got on to sort of calling famous people from the dead. So they moved on to Einstein and Julius Caesar, and they'd ask Einstein really obscure, trust my dad, he'd ask him about theory of relativity and really obscure things, whereas I'd have probably asked for something a bit more sort of juicy. Mind you, theory of relativity, I suppose, could be described as that.
Einstein, we love you, but what was with the hair?
I know, or
who was the most famous woman you got off with Einstein? You know, I don't know, things like that. Whereas my dad asked really obscure things like scientific facts and formulas and stuff. But then, you know, he got onto Julius Caesar and asked Julius Caesar, you know, really obscure things like what his favourite food was and stuff. We'd all be sitting there going, yeah, Dad, this is really interesting and stuff. I know I'm phoning off a radio station telling you this now, but never mind. But that was quite interesting. The second thing I phoned up about was about these docudrama things.
Yeah.
And I don't know, we've recently had a really big glut of them over the past few years, and I reckon it's like, it's made people, everyday people, think that their lives are really interesting and worth sort of telling everyone else about. I mean, I don't particularly care for some woman who keeps failing her driving test and has got a Welsh accent, you know, big deal. But, you know, it seems to sort of attract lots of you know, high TV ratings. But the thing that really gets me is just all those hospital dramas. I think there's too many of them, and like some of them are just like, okay, just boring and mundane, but others just like just wrong. I mean, if you're filming a children's hospital and filming dying kids, I mean, it can be quite moving.
I think it's all, I think all of that, and Rolf Harris, the animal, I think it's all sick, actually.
No, but ultimately, some TV producers sitting down and thinking, yeah, this is going to get to people and it's going to pull in, you know, the ratings, and I just think that's so wrong, you know. These are people dying, or, you know, I've never watched that. I always turn the TV off or whatever. Yeah. But I mean, I just think that's just so plainly wrong. Who wants that stuff? I don't know.
People love it, you know. Apparently there's one on the morning or something, isn't there?
Oh, God, yeah. I mean, well, being a student, I do tend to watch a lot of daytime telly.
Yes.
No, I'm a hard-working student. But one of the blonde presenters.
Gabby Roslin.
Yes. Oh, my God. And she'll like, prance around hospital wards and say, oh, look, you've got a plaster on. How interesting. Let's move on. Oh, you're dying of leukemia. Oh, poor Poppet. I'm just thinking, what's the point? It's just crap. I don't want to know. And, you know, it's just, I don't know, it's just quite voyeuristic.
Don't need it.
Don't need it. Oh, last thing, you know Myth?
Yeah.
We've recently subscribed to cable TV, and he's on a certain programme where he sort of argues a lot.
This is correct.
Are they his true opinions?
Myth?
Are you just doing it? Myth?
Am I just doing what?
Are you just being
are they your true opinions?
perverse and abusive just because you're paid to do that?
Certainly not. I'm abusive.
You do realise he's the one with the glasses, don't you?
Oh, no, not the short-haired chick with a flat chest. No. Sorry.
It doesn't look very flat to me, actually.
I don't know how close you've been looking. But no, because every time there's like an argument, Miss can be relied to come out with, oh, that woman's off her trolley, she's lost her marbles, she ought to be in the nut house. And he just sort of repeats those phrases over again.
Well, I just speak in my own natural voice, my dear.
No, your voice, there's nothing wrong with your voice. I was just worried about your opinions.
Oh, don't worry about my opinions. They're sound enough.
Are they inconsequential and don't matter?
But you have to admit that, I mean, you know, some of the people featured on the scenarios of the show.
Yeah, they are a bit extreme, I have to admit.
They do deserve, a good brutal opinion.
A good rollicking.
And I think there's a lot of dirty bassets on there, you know?
Well, no, I think it's an educational show, but it's always on. It's always on.
It's on a lot, yes.
I don't know how often they repeat the same episode or how often you're in the studio filming, but it's always on.
He's there all the time.
Oh, a bit like you, but we can't get enough of you, Ian.
Thank you, Shima.
Really, darling.
Lovely to speak to you again.
Nice talking to you. Take care.
Behave yourself.
Bye-bye.
See ya. That's Shima, the flirting person from Cardiff. No, I wasn't flirting with her. Claire.
Oh, no.
Was I?
No, I didn't think you were.
She did flirt with me?
Yes.
She did. Thank you very much. Did you get that confirmation?
She was fluttering her radio eyebrows.
She was. So what's it got to do with you?
Nothing to do with me at all.
You're telling me what can and can't talk to?
No, I'm not. I do.
All right, I just want to get that clear.
Yeah, I'm just saying she was fluttering her radio eyebrows.
All right, fair enough, okay. Pete's going to flutter his fingers for this.
The world of Talk Radio is now at your fingertips. The new look Talk Radio website, now giving you the chance to get involved. talk-radio.co.uk. You're part of our biggest ever audience, so we're giving you the chance to shape the future of Talk Radio. Log on talk-radio.co.uk. Visit Future Talk, and choose the guests you want to hear on your favourite programmes in the future. Talk Radio, the station that really does let you choose. Future Talk is exclusive to talk-radio.co.uk with Nationwide Building Society.
You're listening to Talk Radio across the UK on 1053 and 1089 AM with Ian Collins.
Next.
Disgusting. I think for a fellow to talk rubbish the way he does.
Yes.
I mean, I'm amazed. I mean, no wonder our country is going down to the dogs.
We go to Aberdeen. In a second, we'll go to Glasgow. In fact, we'll go to Glasgow twice. We'll go to Paisley. We'll go to Sheffield. Naomi, hello.
Hello.
Thanks for hanging on.
Hi, no, it's okay.
What you got?
I was phoning about the claim to fame that nobody believes.
Yes.
Well, a few years ago, when I was about 12, I went to Live Aid with my sister and some friends.
Oh, yeah. 1985.
Sorry?
1985.
Yeah, that was the year. And anyway, we were down at the front having a really good time and everything, and then my sister and me had a fight. She told me to get lost. So being 12, I did. I just went the other direction. And basically, I went back a couple of hours later to find her. Couldn't find her, so I thought, I don't know where I'm staying tonight, because I'm not from London. So anyway, I grabbed this roadie and I said, I've got lost. And he said, oh, that's all right, come with me. And sorry, am I not saying this right?
No, go on.
Okay.
We're all on tenterhooks here waiting to find out who it was.
Oh, right, okay. So anyway, I followed this roadie.
Stay there, Naomi. Just 1 second. Don't go away. We're going to come back after the news, and we'll get some acceleration on that tale. 0500 1053 89.
Broadcasting across the UK on 1053 and 1089 AM medium wave. This is Talk Radio.
It's 3 o'clock. I'm Siobhan Harris. Figures out later are expected to reveal a drop in hospital waiting lists across England. The Tories are criticising them, claiming they don't show a true picture of the NHS. They come at a time when many hospitals are facing a major bed shortage because of the flu epidemic. But Health Secretary Frank Dobson says the figures are what they expected, but the flu will have an effect.
Nothing's gone wrong. Since we got in, we've put in an extra £2,000 million into the health service, and for this winter we found £159 million. And I said when I announced it that I expected that the NHS would be able to cope, providing we didn't have a bad outbreak of flu.
British and American jets policing the skies over Iraq are on high alert in case of further attacks. Iraqi warplanes fired on US aircraft yesterday. They then fired back and the Iraqis beat a hasty retreat. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, at least 500 people, including many women and children, are reported to have been massacred by rebel troops. The reports from a Roman Catholic missionary news service have been denied by the rebels. Two Scotland Yard detectives have reportedly been told to leave Yemen on the next available flight. The pair are investigating the killings of 4 Western hostages, as local security chiefs ordered them to leave the city of Aden after refusing to let them interview the leader of the rebel gang responsible for the kidnap. Sex on TV and confessional chat shows come under the spotlight later. The Broadcasting Standards Commission publishes a survey which is expected to say people are becoming more tolerant. Tory MP and former broadcaster Roger Gale says shows like Jerry Springle are just terrible.
They are prurients of the worst possible kind. They are made for and watched by and listened to the kind of people who cluster around ambulances when there's a body in the road. It is that level of activity and interest that is being pandered to.
Greg Rosetsky has gone out in the first round of the Qatar Open. He lost in 3 sets to a German player. Independent Radio News.
Talk Radio satellite weather.
With British Gas. Keeping prices on low.
And Talk Radio satellite weather. Cloud and rain, possible snow as well in the northern parts of Scotland. Stand by for a bit of that as well. Looking elsewhere, some rain early on in the northern parts of Ireland. It will get brighter later on. That's the same for North Wales and the northern parts of England as well. Rain to start with, but it might brighten up later on. Midlands and the southeast, rain spreading easterly throughout the course of the day. Heavy and prolonged, particularly in the west of the country, and in the southwest, dry and bright, very mild, but feeling fairly breezy. Top temperatures around the country up as far as 13 Celsius, but at coolest, it'll be down to 4 Celsius.
Talk Radio satellite weather.
With British Gas. Supplying electricity cheaper than your local supplier until 2001.
Shut up.
Talk Radio, can I help you?
Hi, can I talk to Ian, please?
3, 1.
It's the real thing. A radio signal from another world.
This is the flavor.
You whacked a BG in the Gajangas.
They were kicking it in the nuts.
Really? You'd certainly have the hump. Oh, your gander would be up. But he went to work with an unironed shirt and his boss shot him.
Maggie's bag.
Really?
Yeah.
That wasn't Dennis's sack.
Ian Collins and the creatures of the night.
Look, Jerky, I don't need to talk to you.
Brace yourself.
I just found outside in the corridor the Broadcasting Standards report that they were saying, is expected to show. Mm-hmm. And I picked it up and I had a look at it. It's embargoed till tomorrow morning at 9:30.
Oh, dear.
And it's not going to be a lot of old rot. It's just a bunch of pompous pods telling you what you should and shouldn't watch,
It's just a load of old rag.
Yeah. I mean, the mere existence of these people is questionable, so... and I was going to read it out, and I'm not going to read it out, not because it's embargoed, but because it's rot. Rot.
Tommy rot.
Yes.
Ludicrous.
Broadcasting Standards. Bunch of dirty bassets. That's what I say.
I'm glad you said it, sir.
Indeed. Right, Naomi is in Aberdeen. We got cut off before the news, Naomi.
Hello?
Hello.
Hi, yeah.
So, anyway, so you got lost at Live Aid.
Yeah, so, I grabbed this roadie. He took me to the police because I was 12. The police, one of the CID officers said, "Do you want to go for a drink?" I said, yes. She took me backstage. So it was really cool. There was loads of photographers and stuff. Saw Bob Geldof, ran after him, got his autograph. Met Tracy Ullman and Francis Rossi from Status Quo.
Fantastic.
Was the highlight, of course.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, and anyway, so when I came out, the police, my sister had reported me missing, so we met up. And when I met my sister, I came running up to her, "Oh my goodness, I met Bob Geldof, blah, blah, blah." And she said, "Oh, I was backstage as well." And I was like, no way. But she'd actually climbed through all these barriers with a friend and gone up a lift somewhere and ended up meeting Sade and loads of people.
Really?
So, but when we came back, of course, nobody believed.
Either of you?
No, because it sounds like,
That's the problem, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Nobody will ever believe those kind of stories.
Yeah.
And do you know what? I don't believe you.
No, I swear to God. I swear to God. I will send you the autograph. I got my book autographed.
Yeah, but I think you wrote that yourself.
No,
Because you were bored.
No, I swear to God it's true.
Yeah, but I've got to say that, haven't I? Because otherwise it doesn't become a story that nobody believes.
Oh, right, okay. But it's true, it is.
Francis Rossi.
Yeah, really.
Good old Francis. Is he still alive?
Well, as far as I know, they keep doing comeback tours every year.
Don't they? Yeah.
Hmm.
Love them. Status quo.
Anyway, I just called for that, and it's really good to hear you lot back on again.
Lovely to talk to you, Naomi.
Okay,
thanks for your call. Bye. We go from Aberdeen to Glasgow. Ian, hello.
Hi, Ian. How you doing?
All right, thanks.
Hi, nice to hear from you. Observation about TV.
Yeah.
Something I've noticed anyway is a lot of the male presenters that are doing kids TV, how similar they are to the female presenters.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Do you agree? Because
particularly with when they do those kind of inserts between programs, there's a whole bundle of that kind of well, they call them sort of asexual presenters because they're supposed to be like not appealing, but they're all very kind of pretty people.
But so what's the problem with being masculine? I mean, what's the problem with being quite manly?
I don't know.
Supposed to be threatened by that?
I've no idea. I saw a bit of This Morning.
Yeah.
Which I never normally get to see, but I was up way too early for stupid reasons. I couldn't sleep.
Right.
And Richard and Judy had a gardener on. And this guy, he like had sort of wild hair and wore what looked like a wizard's costume. And I thought, well, obviously he got the job because he looks like anything but a gardener.
Right.
So they thought, well, yeah, this is the man.
We'll get him on. He's kind of...
Absolutely. It's a bit like all these DIY shows that have a muscle-bound carpenter, you know?
Yeah, something else as well about kids' TV is it's getting really suggestive as well.
Is it?
You know, I think so. They've all got
I don't watch that much of it, actually,
well,
Ian, but...
Yeah, it's just over Christmas. They've all got their own wee private jokes now. And it's all kind of wink to the cameraman.
Oh, yeah.
You know, it's all this, oh, aye.
Yeah, whatever happened to standards, eh?
You meant that when you said that, and oh, aye, a wee bit of that, and... you know, it's all getting a bit crazy.
Too much of it.
Too much.
Lovely. Thanks for that, Ian. See you later. Bye-bye. 0500 1053 89. I'll talk about cats in a second, but we are a nation of greedy bassets. Britain is a nation of greedy bassets.
They certainly are.
A couple of reasons for this. Earlier on, we had a bit of a munch on.
We did.
We had the munchies on, and so Miff went down to the burger store. And I'm not advertising you. I've got to say the name of the place to
make the relevance.
To make the relevance of the story. And it was down to old Mickey D's.
It was.
Down a bit of McDonald's, we thought. And funnily enough, Miff said, I'll have you were going to have a... What are they called?
The Big Mac.
Big Mac. And you said to me, do you want a Big Mac? And I said, no, I'll have a quarter pounder with cheese. And didn't even enter our heads at that time that you could have got 2 for 1.
Right.
Didn't even... I mean, the advertising has been phenomenal for that thing, and we didn't even think about that. Did it go through your head at the time?
No, not at all.
Didn't even think twice about that. So anyway, Miff goes down there, and they've run out of Big Macs.
Sold out.
Sold out of these things.
Not a Big Mac in Britain.
Yeah. And it's a Mac-in shame, that's what I say.
I reckon you're right.
It's a Mac-in shame. And this is an epidemic, you know, that wherever you go, it's running out of these things. Now, unless everybody goes in there with their mate, and I don't believe everybody does, what does everyone do with the other burger? How many people, has anybody actually gone to McDonald's and bought a Big Mac on their Todd, and the person said, and there's your free one, and said, well, actually, I'm on my own, I'd be a greedy basset to take that.
You would.
You have it back.
It's ludicrous.
And giving it to the person with the 4 stars.
Indeed.
Has anybody actually done that?
I doubt it.
I wouldn't think so. Because we are a nation of greedy bassets.
We love something for nothing.
Absolutely. Chris Tarrant.
Ah.
Who Wants to Be a Millionaire?
Does he?
Well, yeah, let's watch one of those shows one day when somebody wins an unusual amount of money.
Yeah.
Can't they rig the questions for entertainment's sake? Just so we can see somebody actually win over 64,000.
The questions ain't hard, are they? I mean, it not only shows what greedy bassets the British public are, it also shows...
No, we sat there Saturday night and got the one wrong that the guy got wrong, didn't we?
Which one was that?
I can't remember what the question was now.
Oh, it was the L one with the Roman
numerals.
Roman numeral.
Yeah.
I mean, but 99 times out of 100 you get them right.
Did you see that the guy who had to ask the audience what the vegetable thing was? Was it a pulse or a throb or something?
Yes.
He didn't know.
He didn't know?
No.
We're also a nation of stupid bassets as well.
Yes.
As well as greedy ones. But there was the guy the other day who got to 64,000. And he gambled on something that he could only have guessed at.
Yeah. Wrong.
And got it wrong.
Greedy basset.
Greedy old basset. And so, of course, he went down to 32,000.
Yeah.
Which is still a result. But, you know, what's all that about?
But it's the greed of it. That thing's got phenomenal viewing figures, apparently, this time round.
It must have.
And it's because it's greedy Bassett thing. It's phone up, phone up, phone. I'm going to phone this number that cost me...
How much have they made in phone calls? I'd love to know the figure for that.
Yeah, I'd love to know how many calls they get, like, every hour, every time it's advertised. Massive.
I reckon they must cover whatever they give away in an episode in phone calls. Because you're on the phone, it's 50p a minute, so assuming you're on the phone for 2 minutes, which I'm pretty sure you would be, it's £1. So you've only got to get, if the average show gives away 100,000, which I'm sure is about average, probably not even that, the average show, you only want 100,000 people.
Yeah.
And that just goes on to...
And you've covered it, yeah. And I guess it's more than that, really.
Well, if you work it out with the millions that are meant to be watching it...
Yeah.
Most of them people are watching it because they'd like to be on it.
Of course they are.
They really, really...
Why were we watching it, then?
Because we was ripping
the what's it out of it.
The what's it out of it.
Yeah, we were a bit. So, and then... so we want, like, greedy Bassett stories here. And because when I worked in hotels in Blackpool, as whatever it was I was, they used to do these sort of trips where, these breaks where everyone that came along was, like, older than God's dog. So you'd have, like, 100 or 80, like, really old women from Liverpool that would turn up at these hotels for 3 days. And they would never buy a drink until happy hour came. And then they'd buy, like, loads, and they'd sit there with them, and that would last them all evening. And then on one occasion each week, it would have a different set of guests each week, but it never ceased to not happen. Is that right? Never ceased to not... Yeah. The guy who owned the hotel used to put this sort of buffet on, and really went to town on it, because he was, like, really keen about his reputation. And he put out chicken legs and sandwiches and God knows what, cakes and everything. And so they'd go up there and he'd say, help yourself, and they'd help themselves and really fill the old plates up,
Yeah.
Like Heart Attack City up there it was. And they go away and eat it. And like any buffet, there's always a bit left.
Oh, of course there is.
And what these women used to do is come down with their serviettes and pick the sandwiches up, like clumps of them. Put them in the serviette, roll them up and put them in their bag. And that'd be like tomorrow's dinner. It saves buying one, doesn't it, after you've been to the bingo in the morning.
That's nasty. That's just greedy.
It's dirty Bassett, I used to think.
Dirty,
greedy,
filthy Blackpool Bassett.
Yes.
There's nothing worse than your Blackpool Bassett.
Nothing worse.
Nothing. Nothing indeed.
Were you going to say something, Claire?
I was just going to say, you always see those people at weddings or family gatherings.
Yeah, you do.
Your old dears going along the buffet table.
Yeah.
Sticking a few things in their bag.
I hate going to weddings when somebody eats their food, like the buffet, like it was their meal at home.
Yeah.
Yeah, the same enthusiasm and kind of stance and everything. It's difficult to describe, but it's like, tuck straight in there. And, like, not talk to anyone, not look around. It's not it's not an experience, it's just the meal. It's like, it's dinner time.
Yeah.
And at a wedding, it's never dinner time at a wedding, is it? It's not how you look at it.
No, it's meant to be a sociable...
Yeah, it's a whole social, occurrence. Weird. Anyway, it's 0500 1053 89. We'll talk Cats in a second as well, not the musical, but the Beast. And we are looking for Britain's greediest Bassett. They're all over the place. We'll talk community service as well, skiing, everything that's up and running. Don't go away, Stephen, with you in a second. We've got Martin coming on, Graham's there as well. Don't disappear. Lines are open, we're back after this.
So what went wrong last night?
I don't know. Can I have some resolve?
Not until you tell me.
All right, I got the lager in, naturally.
That explains the hangover.
Yes, and my need for resolve. It'll relieve this thumping head, soothe my upset tummy.
Then what?
I'll feel better.
No, the Christmas party. Why didn't anyone turn up?
Fog?
You didn't send the invites.
I forgot.
Like I forgot the resolve.
You didn't. Say it ain't so.
It ain't so.
Resolve for the morning after. Always read the label.
You're listening to Talk Radio across the UK on 1053 and 1089 AM with Ian Collins.
Oh, thank you, Your Majesty. Next!
Here's what I propose to do, good folk of the UK. In a second, I will speak to Stephen in Glasgow and Martin in Paisley. But first, we must, by definition, go to Sheffield. Graham, hello.
Good afternoon, sir. I'm very pleased that you're able to speak to me at this moment in time.
Communication is what it's all about, Ocha.
Absolutely marvellous. A1 tip-top.
Next! Go on.
Now, I'm quite upset, actually, that I didn't I tuned in quite late on. If I had known that you wanted to know about people that had met people, then I would have drug up the tape which I have of Lemmy doing a promo for a pirate radio station, which I had.
Oh, that's always good.
Well, it's nowhere near me. But the biggest rip-off, you were talking about shocking TV over Christmas. The biggest rip-off of the lot, by far so far, is Film 4.
Is it? I haven't got this. What's it all about?
I don't have it, but a friend of mine does, and it's everything that's been a film on Channel 4.
Yeah.
Now as subscriptions.
Oh, right,
and
so you now pay for it?
to watch the films that have already been on terrestrial TV.
Are they big films?
Not necessarily. Brassed Off is probably about the best that's been on so far.
Great film.
Which, fine film, don't get me wrong, but it's hardly what could have been known as a world blockbusting film.
No, you're right.
And that's roughly the standard that's on. It's everything that's been on Channel 4 in the first place. But, of course, that's Channel 4's remit, and they've already made... They've said what is going to be out, so, of course...
What are they charging for the film, Graham?
Well, because it's on digital.
No, what are they charging?
I don't know. I think it's something around about £3.50 a night, is it, or something like that. It's not spectacular.
Yeah.
But having said that, the best thing over Christmas by far has been Sunset Beach. It's been the best thing on TV for at least a year.
It's really funny because we spoke about this before Christmas, and I actually saw saw a little bit of an episode.
Funny, a mate of mine some months ago told me about it to start off with, and said he's a roofer, this particular bloke, and he was either ill or it was raining, so whichever way he wasn't working, and his wife was sat in watching this programme intently, and exactly the same happened with me. After 10 minutes, you think, oh, what on earth rubbish am I watching here?
Yeah.
And then all of a sudden, someone will say something which makes you go, did I hear that right? And you'll look up, and then someone will say something which will make you say, yeah, I did hear that right. No, this can't be right.
Because it's so damn naff.
It is... I've had a crossroads-sized hole in my life for so long. It makes it look like Shakespeare. It's incredible.
I'm sure it does.
I've never, ever seen anything so funny in all my life.
I must get around to watching a whole episode of the thing.
Believe me, sir, it takes at least a week before you can get past a day in there.
Really?
So it's fabulous.
Good stuff, Graham.
Fabulous.
And lovely talking to you.
And you, mate.
Thanks a lot. Cheers, Graham. 0500 10 53 89. Apparently we had a call from somebody saying that Who Wants to Be a Millionaire nets something like £2 million a week in calls. And they don't give away anywhere near £2 million a week.
No way.
I guess that's got to be split between the phone company and the TV company and stuff, but even so.
It's a lot of dough.
I mean, it's fantastic. I mean, good luck to them, blimey.
One thing I hate, though, is the way when they answered the question.
You came here with nothing.
Yeah.
And you said...
Yeah, he's just won £64,000.
That's a really good impression, actually.
That's off the top of my head. 'Cause he's a bit like Kenneth Clarke, isn't he? You know, the former Chancellor.
Yeah.
I think they're the same person. He used to go a lot as well.
And I don't know if you know, I've pulled some faces.
Chris?
Yeah. Like that. It's got a bit of a tick.
Do you think he's earned much money in his career?
Just a couple of sobs.
Yeah.
Ugh. What's he like?
What's he like? Yeah. Yeah, it was the guy with the twitch. I mean, I don't want to pick up on that too much because lots of people have them. But, you know, don't tell me I wasn't the only person watching who said, oh, look, he's got a twitch. Because everybody did.
Of course they did.
He was the bloke. He was the one we were watching Saturday night, wasn't he?
Yeah, he was the one, that guessed on the 64,000
That's right.
and went off with 32.
Because he did really well because he got like a Gilbert and Sullivan question that he just instantly knew on the 32,000.
It was me old mate. The Mikado.
The Mikado.
The Mikado.
It was the Mikado. And he got that, and you know, well done, you know, because most people wouldn't have known that. And then he went to the next question, and almost with the same level of confidence, went A or B or whatever it was. I thought he knows this.
Simon and Garfunkel.
Yeah.
Where was, where did they, which station?
Homeward Bound.
Yeah, and he said Reading. He said Crew.
And it was Witness.
Yeah.
Did you know it was Witness?
Of course I did.
Claire?
I've no idea at all.
Well, when they asked the question, I thought the choices were going to be like San Francisco, New York, and then they came up Crew, Reading, Hull, Staplehurst. I thought, what?
But when the geezer, the one geezer that really got on my wick was...
Oh, him?
He's going to have his own TV show.
No, he'll get his own TV show. The guy who kept putting his fist up.
Yeah.
Who walks away with about 50p, thank God, at the end of it all.
And the geezer in the blue shirt.
Ugh.
What?
Yeah. What did he do? Was he in the RAF or something?
Used to be in
the RAF.
Yeah.
And he kept giving it the old fist.
Yeah, he loved the fist.
Loved the fist. And we saed, didn't we? I bet you some producer has told him to play that up.
God, keep doing that. It looks great.
Like all that for TV. And everyone's thinking, what a total gonk. And then, of course, it happens, doesn't it? You know?
Yeah.
He wins, and wins a bit more, and wins a bit more. And then loses. Hey! And everybody was happy when he lost as well.
They were.
Which is interesting. So there we are. Right, so 500, 1053, 89. And I will talk about cats in a second. I'm going to talk to Martin and Stephen in just a tick. So don't go away. We're back right after this.
Claims Direct know that hundreds of thousands of people are injured in the UK every year. Claims Direct also know that only a fraction of these people receive compensation. If you're the innocent victim of a road accident, an accident in the workplace, and a